It's Wednesday, March 11th.
Is it going to be perfect next week? No, we need to make more professionals. There's not enough people yet.
Workers across a number of healthcare disciplines are now eager to see the province's new healthcare rollout and how it will impact them. The Liberals are now just 2 seats shy of a majority government after another MP crossed the floor.
And it's all these really awesome females that start their own businesses. So I just noticed that and admired them and recognized that this little community of Waka has a really great thing going on.
Small Saskatchewan Lake Town, south of Prince Albert, seeing a big entrepreneurial spirit. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl.
And I'm Kayleen. Good morning and happy Wednesday.
The big melt is on, but there are still some remnants of big winter, like Corinne in Calder, Saskatchewan. Each year she sends us images of her icicle. It's back, and it is probably needs to be knocked off the roof, honestly.
It's a big one this year.
That's a big one. It probably needs to go.
Yeah, but I'm ready. I'm ready for them to melt. I'll be honest with you.
Right. Me too. I'm ready for that to not fall on a pet's head. Let's get to our news for this part of the hour. And we begin with that top story. Another MP has crossed the floor to join the Liberal Party. Nunavut MP from the NDP party this time, Laurie Idlout, will be joining the Liberals. The Liberals now just 2 seats shy of a majority. NDP leader Don Davies made the statement saying he's disappointed she's decided to join the Liberal caucus. New Democrats are now down to just 6 seats in the House. The move comes one day after voting began in the federal NDP leadership race. The Liberals now have 170 seats ahead of 3 by-elections being held on April 13th. The province here in Saskatchewan looking at a number of ways to change and tackle wait times and improve access to health care across Saskatchewan. Now workers wondering what it'll mean for them. Keenan Sorokon reports.
Healthcare workers across a number of different sectors are waiting to see how the Patient First healthcare plan will change their jobs.
It's kind of something that we've been advocating for, asking for, and we're really, really excited to see that our province is listening.
The Patient First healthcare plan is aiming to give everyone access to the care they need. And a big part of that plan is opening up the scope for some to do more work in more places. Nurse practitioners will be seen in emergency rooms and urgent care centers as the cornerstone of getting more people seen more frequently.
Basically anything that you would be going to see, your GP for, a nurse practitioner is able to do. We need more healthcare professionals. We need more physicians to kind of accomplish this plan.
The province has made 100 training spots available for nurse practitioners, a number that has almost doubled in 4 years. Another person you might see a little more of is a pharmacist.
We're really happy that they're looking at expanding our scope of work that we do, we're trained to do, but allowed to do, because I think the impact is quite significant.
Pharmacists will be able to prescribe and assist with minor ailments like strep throat and ear infections to take more people out of waiting rooms during cold and flu season.
Which actually allows the testing to be done at the site in the pharmacy, and you can find out whether you have strep throat in like 7 minutes, as opposed to going to the lab.
And the province doesn't plan on stopping there.
We're looking to expand scope with dietitians, optometrists, potentially chiropractors, nurses. So we're going to have conversations with all of those regulatory bodies.
But not everyone appreciates the extra work. Olivia Bolton is a continuing care assistant and can't see how these plans prevent burnout or retain workers.
Yesterday alone, we had 9 people on overtime that were working double shifts because they didn't want to see the patients go without.
Jobs across healthcare are in for some changes, but specifics on how this will be accomplished and how much it will cost will have to wait until the province releases its budget next week. Keenan Sorokon, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Well, house fire now under investigation in your neck of the woods. Jeremy Dodge, good morning.
Good morning, Daryl. Yeah, it's a house fire in the RM of Corman Park where one person was found dead. It is under investigation. RCMP say they were called to the fire at a rural property in the RM Monday afternoon. Local fire departments also responded to fight the fire. RCMP say one person was found dead at the scene. They say the person has been tentatively identified and their family's been notified. Fire investigators with the Saskatchewan Public Safety Agency are investigating for a cause and an origin. Residents in several east side neighborhoods in Saskatoon might notice a drop in water pressure over the next couple of months as the city works on upgrades to infrastructure. The city says it will start work on the Acadia Drive primary water main March 23rd, which could take up to 8 weeks to complete. As a result, people might notice their water pressure drop by about 40% in Brevoort Park, College Park, Wildwood, Lakeview, Rosewood, Lakewood, Briarwood, Greystone Heights, Eastview, and College Park East. Now, the water still will be safe to drink. Outages are not expected. All right, Daryl. Prime Minister Carney, he had more to say on Iran yesterday.
Yeah, he's now made it clear Canada will never participate in the U.S.-Israeli war with Iran.
Le Canada soutient la nécessité d'empêcher le programme nucléaire de l'Iran. Le très honorable Premier ministre.
That was the Prime Minister speaking in the House of Commons yesterday. He changed his schedule to attend question period after being criticized for not being at a parliamentary debate on Monday night. He said Canada opposes Iran's development of nuclear weapons and the regime's exporting of terrorism. He added that Canada will not participate in the American military offensive in that region. Parts of Ontario, Quebec, and Atlantic Canada bracing for a major ice storm today.
Conditions could be slippery from the get-go, and then throughout the day, precipitation is likely to stay as freezing rain, at least throughout the early afternoon hours into the evening hours.
Environment Canada saying the potentially critical freezing rain event could be extensive, widespread, and prolonged. Officials are warning of possible power outages, property damage, and travel chaos. In Montreal, people are being told to stay home and not to go out for any travel that isn't essential, with most schools in the area closed for the day. So how bad will it get? Well, as much as 20 millimeters of ice is expected to coat places like Ottawa and Montreal. And of course, we'll have your weather forecast in just a few minutes. Several cultural items repatriated from the Vatican have been unveiled by First Nations leaders at the Canadian Museum of History.
And today, while we recognize the unfortunate events that many of our people have been through, today we celebrate the return of these ancestors to their homelands, to where they belong.
Among the artifacts were embroidered leather gloves, a wooden bowl and spoon, and a cradle board as well. These items are among thousands sent to Rome by missionaries for an exhibit organized by the Vatican in 1925. First Nations leaders say the repatriation is an emotional moment after years of difficult negotiations. Closer to home, the city of Regina is asking you to help reduce recycling contamination by keeping the wrong items out of the blue bins you put at the curbside. The city says current contamination rates are at 18%, triple the maximum allowed threshold of 6%. If the contamination rates continue to be high, it could result in additional waste fees for the city, which could result in increased municipal bills.
We're focused solely on education. We're hoping to get the news out to residents. We know that residents really care about doing the right thing. We know that residents care about having low waste fees, and so we're hoping to get the messaging out that sorting your waste responsibly will allow us to continue to deliver an efficient and cost-effective service.
He says it's working closely with Sask Recycles to try to educate residents on proper recycling habits, and that fines and additional waste fees are a last resort. More than 200 residents of Sunset Estates in Saskatoon raising concerns after their rent has drastically increased, in some cases nearly doubled without proper notice. In mobile home communities like this one, residents own the mortgage or mortgage their houses, but pay monthly rent for the land it sits on. According to residents, the monthly expenses, which now also include a water recovery charge, started going up in December and have continued to increase since. After a community meeting and consultation with the Office of Residential Tenancies, the residents of Sunset Estates are now in the process of fully individually filing applications with the ORT to flag the issue.
This is our home. We're not just numbers on a piece of paper. This is where we raise our families. This is where our seniors retire. This place is very special to a lot of people, and we'd like to continue to keep it our home.
We have reached out to the landowners' Compass Communities for a response, waiting for that. Loblaw is investigating a data breach which saw some customer information compromised. The company says access data includes names, phone numbers, and email addresses. Information like passwords and credit card information were not compromised. Affected customers have been notified. To access digital services, they will be logged out and signed back in. There has been another volcanic eruption on Hawaii's Big Island. This is the 43rd eruption at Kilauea since December 2024. The images are spectacular. Columns of ash were sent into the sky, with smoke reaching more than 7,500 meters above sea level. The lava stayed inside Hawaii Volcanoes National Park, and there were no homes threatened, but ash did cause some closures to roads nearby. Almost 600 penalty minutes were handed out during a chaotic Newfoundland and Labrador hockey game. This was at a Junior B playoff game between South Shore and St. John's. There were 20 fighting majors and almost 600 penalty minutes handed out. The game had to be called early. This was in St. John's when both teams ran out of players on the bench. Can you believe it? League officials say suspensions are coming. No kidding. A small Saskatchewan lake town south of Prince Albert seeing a big entrepreneurial spirit. Female entrepreneurs are shaping Waka's business scene, bolstering the lake town, preparing for the summer rush. From Sonder Salon, Espresso Cafe, and Cornerstone Care Home, the women are stepping up to fill the gaps in the community. When Kimberly Cooper saw that she moved to Waka, she quickly noticed the vibrance of the local business scene.
And it's all these really awesome females that start their own businesses. So I just noticed that and admired them and recognized that this little community of Waka has a really great thing going on.
There you go. Cooper estimates 80% of the independently owned businesses along Waka's main strip are owned by women. Let's get to another powerful woman. That is Kayleen Sawatsky. She's got the ear of Mother Nature. What's she telling you these days?
Well, today's not necessarily going to be the day that we're concerned about. We do see some more snow on the way in the next couple days. And we're also seeing the winds go up tomorrow. Today, we're really seeing the winds more so down south, right into North Dakota, Montana area there. We're going to take a look at some of those warnings compared to Saskatchewan this morning. But let's start by taking a look outside. -8 to wake us up in Regina. We do have some clouds right now. Saskatoon, believe it or not, you are under a fog warning to start the day. We're just not really seeing that outside right now on our own sky cam, but keep in mind that those conditions can change very rapidly. -15 right now to wake you up, and some winds coming in at 7 kilometers per hour. All right, so as we mentioned, we are seeing some of those watches, warnings, but they're all down into the United States. On our radar on satellite right now, Saskatchewan's looking okay down south. It's up north that we're seeing some cold warnings, but that purple that you're seeing on your screen is the wind warnings, and we're really seeing in Saskatchewan today, the wind is going to be stronger down towards that southwest corner of the province, around the Swift Current area, around East End there, Gull Lake. You could be seeing some of those stronger wind gusts this afternoon. But again, today isn't really the day that we're going to be concerned about. It's going to be tomorrow when we could see winds gusting up to about 55 kilometers per hour is what we're reading right now for Regina. Futurecast showing that today we're seeing the snow up where we're seeing those cold warnings. So way up north into the overnight hours, we're still going to be seeing some of that snow up north. It begins to clear early tomorrow morning, and then we see this system coming in from Alberta there. This could start late tonight, and again continuing on into tomorrow morning. Tomorrow afternoon, we see it shifting a little bit, but still seeing it in areas around Swift Current. Regina has a chance of seeing some of that snow tomorrow. However, with the winds going up, it's going to be blowing. Today's forecast with the temperatures looking above the seasonal average for most places in central and southern Saskatchewan. Today, 0 degrees for the Battlefords in Saskatoon, 1 degree for Regina, 4 degrees for Swift Current and Moose Jaw, 3 degrees for Weyburn and Estevan, -4 for Yorkton today with that cloud cover. Tomorrow, we talked about just a few flurries for Regina, -4. Again, could be seeing some fairly strong gusts tomorrow. -5 on Friday, mix of sun and cloud. -8 on Saturday with that cloud cover. And -7 on Sunday. Could be seeing some more snow into Tuesday of next week. In Saskatoon, -8 for Thursday and Friday. Dropping down on Saturday to -11. -8 on Sunday with that mix of sun and cloud. In case you missed it, traditional reindeer racing in Finland is drawing a crowd.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's some serious reindeer games here.
Wow.
Yeah. Raising and caring for reindeer has been a long time part of Scandinavian culture, especially for the Sami indigenous people in the north. Reindeer racing is an organized and regulated competition. This year, the winner of the races was a reindeer named Pom Pom. His owner says he's exceptionally fast and smart, the two qualities for a great racer.
Doesn't part of you just want to yell on Dasher, on Dancer, on...
Yeah.
Look at him go.
Dash away all. I had no idea you could train and people kept reindeer. I had no clue. It's amazing to me.
That needs to be an Olympic sport. Move over ski joring.
You don't hear a lot about reindeer when it's not the Christmas season. They need their flowers.
No, that's true. Get them back on top. Let's get to our question of the day. Music questions always get a lot of answers, so we thought we'd do that today.
Yeah, so we're asking you today, what song is it that takes you back to your teenage years?
Oh, song takes you back to your teenage years. We're about to date ourselves, Jeremy.
Been spending most our lives living in a gangster's paradise.
And that's going to cost
wow.
a fortune.
Julio.
That's
number one
was
song of
fantastic.
1995.
That was something.
That was great. Tell us, Daryl.
Jeez. I remember the first song I would listen to when I drove was Hey Leonardo by, who sings Hey Leonardo? It's Blessed Union of Souls.
That's funny you remember
old.
that, because I remember mine too, the day I got my license.
Yeah. It was raining that day. I don't know why I remember that.
That's so funny.
What about you?
You know what? I'm not even going to say mine because Daryl's going to make fun of how young I am. We want to hear from you. What song takes you back to your teenage years? Text us 10400. Standard message rates may apply, or you can scan that QR code on your screen. We're going to share some more answers in about an hour. For now, take a live look over the city of Regina.
Oil prices are jumping again as tensions flare in the Strait of Hormuz, and investors keep an eye on the International Energy Agency's proposal to release emergency reserves. The IEA's 32 members vote today on a plan to free up 400 million barrels, the largest such release in its history. And investors are also reacting to news from U.S. Central Command that U.S. forces eliminated 16 Iranian mine-laying ships near the Strait of Hormuz. Also, a cargo ship in the strait was hit by an unknown projectile, causing a fire on board and the evacuation of the crew. Now, in just 2 years, crude oil has become one of the main exports flowing through Vancouver, Canada's largest port, and China is proving its most eager buyer. The Vancouver Fraser Port Authority shows that Asia's top economy is taking full advantage of the Trans Mountain Pipeline expansion, which opened in May of 2024 to ferry oil from the vast Albertan oil sands to the west coast. Some 15.5 million metric tons of heavy Canadian oil were shipped by tanker to China in 2025, a 168% increase from the year before. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
The theory behind the ketogenic diet is that it forces your body to burn its own fat for energy instead of sugar. Researchers from the University of Toronto suggest that this might help improve symptoms of depression. When people who monitored their ketones, the substances the body makes when it burns fat for fuel, they reported a greater mood boost compared to those who didn't. This means foods featured in the diet like full-fat cheese, olives, avocados, and seafood may do double duty by feeding your body while supporting emotional well-being. When it came to anxiety, the diet didn't seem to make a major difference. However, the ketogenic diet has also been used to help manage seizures in people with epilepsy, and studies suggest that it may also be helpful for people with Parkinson's disease. As always, talk to your doctor before making major diet changes. If you or someone you know is living with depression, seek help. A good first stop is your primary care physician. With this Medical Minute, I'm Jacqueline Lee.
Health Report, brought to you in part by SEIU West, Saskatchewan's first healthcare union.
Here's a look at your school day forecast, brought to you by CAA School Safety Patrol, working together to keep our school zones safe. It's another day of seeing those warmer temperatures down towards the south and cooler through central Saskatchewan. -8 to wake us up in Regina, -15 if you're heading out to catch the bus in Saskatoon. By lunchtime in both cities sitting at -5, and by final bell, both cities sitting at 0 degrees. Winds just a little bit stronger down in Regina compared to Saskatoon, though. As we go to break, here's a look at those gas prices. In Regina, the common price $149.9. You might find it for as low as $129.9. In Saskatoon, the common price $150.9. You might find it for as low as $139.9. In the farm markets, the street price of canola is $649.13 per ton, and the futures price $720.10 per ton. Amber durum wheat now at $278.59 per ton, and red spring wheat $267.72 per ton. And the Canadian dollar continues to trade up. It's at 73.71 cents US. Next on Your Morning Saskatchewan, why the province is issuing special permits for elk. Stay with us for the details.
Welcome to Your Morning. My name is Daryl. Let's get to your headlines. Delegates from all over the province in Regina this week for the Saskatchewan Association of Rural Municipalities Convention. The SARM Convention started with opening remarks yesterday afternoon and will continue today with an address from the Premier and what's known as the Bear Pit session, where the entire provincial cabinet is available to answer questions from SARM members. Several key issues facing rural Saskatchewan are set for discussion during this conference, including the rising cost of fuel recently driven up by the conflict in Iran.
We've seen price of gasoline at the pumps rise 20 to 30 cents a litre already in the last couple of weeks, and it certainly is a concern. And fuel prices on our farms today is huge because our big farm equipment requires a lot of fuel to power it, and so it's certainly concerning, and also affecting the exports and movement of our commodities too.
Price of diesel has also risen sharply, approaching the $1.90 per litre mark in Regina, about $1.76 in Saskatoon. And yesterday, the NDP was pushing the government to lay down the law on non-Canadian residents owning farmland here. Donovan Mace reports.
The prospect of foreign entities owning land in Saskatchewan has the NDP opposition wishing the government would crack down harder.
Go back and investigate and review transactions of concern and ensure compliance. And they failed to make sure the Farmland Security Board has the resources and the teeth they need.
The Saskatchewan Farmland Security Board oversees transactions ensuring owners are Canadian residents. Last year, 8 complaints of possible foreign land ownership in Saskatchewan were investigated by the board, with 3 issued penalties and 4 ordered to reduce operations. But the opposition believes there could be more not yet reported.
The scope and scale of how much land is owned in breach of our law or illegally by foreign owners is not clear.
The NDP would like to see significantly higher fines of up to $1 million for individuals and $10 million for corporations breaking the law. That's in line with 10 recommendations the provincial auditor made 2 years ago, but the Minister of Agriculture says the Farmland Security Board has already put them all into action.
Farmland Security Board has all the tools that they need, including the declaration and the signing that you have to sign off on. And so I'm comfortable in that.
Saskatchewan rural municipalities feel current backstops are adequate.
There's always a loophole for some people to get through, but I think the auditor has done a good job of trying to police that and prevent it. And, I don't think, personally, I don't have a concern with it.
We're open to changes if they feel like it's going to improve the plan. I think the declaration and the recommendations and the changes we made that the provincial auditor had asked for we implemented as quickly as we could, and we landed in a good spot.
The NDP presenting a private member's bill to amend the Farmland Security Board's enforcement powers, a motion Merritt says is unlikely to receive the support of the government in order to pass. Donovan May, CTV News, Regina.
As we mentioned, the war in Iran is continuing to create chaos around the world. It's not just soaring oil prices that are having an impact, but fertilizer is seeing its prices skyrocket, which could have a significant impact on Canadian farmers. CTV's Alex Karpa has more on what it means for the ag industry.
This is our nitrogen fertilizer.
Fertilizer is an essential part of Kevin Peters' farm in southwestern Manitoba.
This bin will hold about 100 tons of nitrogen fertilizer.
Both his crops and livestock rely on it heavily. But since Israel and the U.S.'s attacks on Iran, the average price of nitrogen fertilizer has skyrocketed around 30% in the last week.
There's always some disruptions seeming to happen somewhere in the world that's changing our daily prices.
Roughly a third of the world's fertilizer shipments move through the Strait of Hormuz off southern Iran. With the vital shipping route effectively closed, economists say global prices are rising.
Fertilizer very important to our growers here, and especially at the time of year right when we're gearing up for planting season.
Anderson says the world's fertilizer supply was already under pressure before this war started.
This adds another layer of increased cost to their bottom line.
This price increase is yet another blow for farmers who have seen their input costs increase dramatically over the last few years. Jill Verwey with Manitoba's Keystone Agriculture Producers is desperate for the war to end soon.
If this drags out further, then it's going to have bigger impacts on availabilities, capacity for farmers to get that fertilizer on this spring.
Watching a deteriorating crisis for Peters has made staying optimistic difficult.
We're just cautious about overextending ourselves, and we want to be here producing food and producing livestock for the markets.
Experts warn the high cost of fertilizer and other goods are likely here to stay, even if the war in Iran were to end in a few weeks. Alex Karpa, CTV News, in your Steinbach, Manitoba.
Producers have a new option for addressing ongoing issues with elk herds when prevention methods are unsuccessful. The province will issue 8 permits that allow special targeted elk hunting on land with a demonstrated history of damages from congregating elk. There is no cost to producers for the permits, which can be used between mid-January and March of next year. They're valid for either the affected producer or a single designated hunter and are not an open hunting opportunity. The results of the first year will be used for future planning.
We know those numbers are high. We've heard from our colleagues, we've heard from municipal leaders that, there's herds of 300 and 400 out there. And, we know of cattle ranchers that are rolling out bales and the elk are there. It's almost 1-to-1. And so obviously it's a challenge. So we know where those areas are. We'll work with our crop insurance folks, and the producers will make their application, and we'll put the tags out through our regional offices.
Saskatchewan Wildlife Federation said in a release the approach is a stopgap solution that doesn't address the root causes of the issue. They caution the province on how the tags are awarded to prevent privatization of wildlife resources and encourage other prevention methods along with better access for all hunters. Saskatchewan Cooperative Fishers is hosting a meeting in Prince Albert to discuss big changes in the future of the inland fishing industry in northern Saskatchewan. The federally owned Freshwater Fish Marketing Corporation, established by the government to market freshwater fish from inland Canada, is headed toward privatization. First Nation and Métis partners from Saskatchewan and Manitoba, along with Saskatchewan Cooperative Fishers, have made a bid for the company. Saskatchewan Cooperative Fishers says the industry is vital to culture and economy, and in the north, and fishermen and women should have a voice when it comes to the market.
That's our livelihood. That's how we were raised. So that's the whole thing that's happening here. They're going to be, there's a technical committee that's going to be explaining what we've done so far, where things are at, so that the fishermen hear, and we'll get input from them as well. But that's our goal, is to make an efficient, productive company again.
The group is hopeful that continued lobbying will pay off. The red-hot Medicine Hat Tigers have drawn even with the PA Raiders in the top spot race in the WHL East.
Twirls on Lancer, curls in the left wing circle, spins, fires, scores!
That was the game winner. Just 19 seconds in, the Tabbies shut out the Regina Pats 6-0 last night. Pats are still in a playoff spot, 3 points up on Red Deer, 5 on Moose Jaw. And there are 6 games to go on the schedule for most teams. Tabbies are red hot right now. Let's get over to the temperatures, which are not exactly red hot.
Not exactly red hot, but they are improved from what we've been seeing in the past few days because, again, this is the part of the year where it's just up and down, and Mother Nature can't decide if it's winter or if it's spring. Well, we're still seeing a lot of those winter-like temperatures, although they are slightly above the seasonal average, especially down south. -8 right now to wake us up in Regina. We do have some cloud cover and a little bit of fog out there to start the day. Winds very calm right now, coming in at 6 kilometers per hour. In Saskatoon, also seeing a little bit of fog this morning. You are under a fog warning, as well as many other places in central Saskatchewan right now. -15 again, and winds going to be going up this afternoon, mainly in the southwest corner of the province, around Swift Current, around East End there, Maple Creeks. We could be seeing those gusts surpassing 45 kilometers per hour, but tomorrow is really the day that we're talking about the winds are really going up. Let's turn our attention to the current temperatures. We're still seeing some of those cold warnings this morning way up north. Stony Rapids, -33 right now, -34 in South End, -29 in La Ronge, -20 in Melfort. Down towards the south, we're seeing about -4 in Moose Jaw, -4 in Weyburn, -3 in Estevan. And speaking of that -3 in Estevan, it's technically a decimal point. It's -3.3, and that is Saskatchewan's hot spot this hour. The Saskatchewan cold spot is Key Lake, -40.0 to start the day. The Canadian hotspot is in Windsor, Ontario this morning, 12.8 degrees to start the day. And the Canadian cold spot right now is Eureka, -43.9. Later on into the afternoon, seeing temperatures that are warmer than yesterday. 4 degrees for Swift Current, Moose Jaw, 3 degrees for Weyburn and Estevan, -4 in Yorkton with that cloud cover, -4 in Prince Albert, and 0 degrees expected for the Battlefords and Saskatoon. 1 degree for Regina with mainly sunny skies this afternoon. It's tomorrow that we're talking about just a few flakes, but it is going to be blowing snow because, again, we're expecting the wind gusts to be going up quite a bit tomorrow. -4 for those temperatures, -5 on Friday, -8 on Saturday, and -7 on Sunday. In Saskatoon, we mentioned 0 degrees today, but it does drop off quite a bit for your day tomorrow, -8. Mix of sun and cloud, mainly sunny on Friday, -8, -11 on Saturday, and -8 on Sunday.
The Patients First Healthcare Act is aiming to provide more people with access to primary care providers and more timely surgeries and diagnostics. This was introduced on Monday in Saskatoon area. Jeremy Cockrell is the Minister of Health for this province, joins us live this morning. First and foremost, you just had a baby girl. Congratulations.
Thanks, Daryl. Thanks, Daryl. Good to be with you.
Big, exciting time for you. And so you've had firsthand experience of late with the healthcare system. What is the state currently? How would you describe the state of our healthcare system currently as it sits?
Yeah, well, first of all, my wife and I just had a fantastic experience here in the Battlefords with the birth of our new baby girl. I would say generally things are improving. And, it doesn't mean that, the Patients First plan that we released this week, it doesn't mean that all of our challenges are dealt with or are fixed today or next week or next month. But I think it really highlights some of the investments that have been made that are improving the system for patients, and that, some actions that we're going to take to further improve that and make sure that there's continued to be better access for primary care and quicker access for surgeries.
Put it into layman's terms for us. What are the key bullet points of this? How does it improve healthcare?
Well, number one, we want everybody to have access to that primary care provider. And what this plan really does is ensure that there's going to be more family physicians, more nurse practitioners being trained right in our province, and then folks incentivized to make sure that they stay in the province and continue to add patients to their rosters and make sure that all of us have easier access getting appointments for either our own selves or our kids.
The opposition says this is a Brad Wall plan from a decade ago that never came to fruition. What's your response to that?
Well, you know what? I think at the end of the day, we haven't heard a plan from the other side. They say they've been working on change, and then when change does come, they're opposed to it. And so, but I think what this plan really indicates is it's a refresh in many ways of some discussions that have happened previously in our province. But yet, what this plan is really all about is ensuring that we get the right care to the right time at the right place to people right across the province. There's things that have changed in healthcare since Brad Wall's plan, the advent of virtual care, the introduction of urgent care centers, the expanded role of nurse practitioners. So things have changed in healthcare, and it's important for us to adjust to that. And that's why I'd say there's a lot new in this plan that reflect where we're at in 2026.
Does this hinge on hiring healthcare professionals, and where are we at with attracting doctors that are going to stay, especially in rural centers?
Everything in healthcare in many ways comes back to ensuring that we have people available to care for patients. And, as I said, we've seen some real improvements in terms of expanding the physician rosters across the province. There's still lots of work to do. We've had success recently when it comes to pediatric specialists in the province. But I think with the expanded nurse practitioner training seats, the expanded College of Medicine seats, the more residency seats that we've added, and then as well as a streamlined recruitment process that we've introduced, that's going to pay some big dividends for ensuring that we have the right number of folks in our workforce.
Big exciting day down in Estevan. They're about to put that MRI machine into full use. That's got to be good news for your government.
Fantastic news. And, important to know that the way that it's being done in that project is a modular build. So the room is being installed this week. The actual MRI machine doesn't arrive for a little bit yet, but we're going to have that open and available for patients starting in July. Massive impact for Southern Saskatchewan, as well as Regina residents who, I think will have that option of popping down to Estevan for their MRI.
What's the reaction been like from healthcare workers? I imagine you've heard from them.
Absolutely. I think overall, the feedback has been positive. And, I think people recognize that we need to make sure that everything we do in healthcare is about the patients. And I don't think there's been enough of that focus of that in recent years. And obviously, we had a difficult pandemic a couple of years to deal with, but it's time to really get back in terms of focusing what it's all about. And that is ensuring that there's excellent patient care.
Mr. Cockrell, thank you for a couple of minutes this morning.
You bet. Thanks, Daryl.
Laura Dykin here inside the SportsCenter newsroom with your must-see moment from Tuesday. For that, let's head to Minnesota for the Mammoth and Wild game. And Kirill Kaprizov with the shot here goes off the end boards. Kaprizov is tripped up, but still gets to his rebound and scores from his knee. Not too bad. Puck's rolling on edge as it reaches his stick. Still fires it into the back of the net. Great balance, great strength to score the goal and earn the must-see moment from Tuesday. Well, tonight on TSN, we've got some PWHL hockey for you. The Boston Fleet facing the Seattle Torrent. And our coverage begins at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 Pacific. And that does it for us here inside the SportsCenter newsroom. Have a great rest of the day.
It's March 11th, and we have these milestones to share with you. We'll start off with some belated birthday wishes going out to Emmerich. He turned 11 years old yesterday. We hope you had a great day. Enjoy being 1 year older. Lots of love from your family and friends. Celebrating today is Lacey on her 9th birthday. Happy birthday from your mom, dad, and your little sister, Holly, and good luck in the Ringette playoffs. Happy birthday wishes also going out to Joyce. Have a great day. Lots of love coming to you from your children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren.
Milestones, brought to you by Harbor Landing Village, an award-winning senior care and living community in Regina.
If you have a milestone coming up, send us an email to yourmorningsaskatchewan@ctv.ca or simply scan that QR code on your screen. Please send those in at least 1 day in advance.
Did you go from snow pitch to glow pitch now?
Absolutely, we did. I couldn't sit still. I couldn't go a year without a tournament of some sort. So this is going to be our first one. I won't call it our first annual, Daryl, because I know you hate that phrasing, but we're hoping it to be an annual event, and it is going to be coming up the first weekend of May. So May 1st, the Friday night, we start off with a pre-tournament cabaret, and then Saturday and Sunday, that is when the tournament itself is taking place. This one, it is indoors. It's inside of a curling rink, and it's playing with a plastic bat and ball Falls. So kind of reliving your best childhood memories there, but under the black lights. So it's all going to be vibing, all going to be glowing, and all going to be raising money for Telemiracle 2027. So we're getting a jump start on some fundraising and a lot of fun. The registration officially opening up on Monday of next week. You can see details though at purecountry927.ca.
Sounds like a Russell Dickerson music video in the making. Chase, thank you, and thank you for not saying first annual. It's not a real thing. It's inaugural.
You're welcome.
This case and my first one, there are too many commonalities for them not to be connected.
Scarpetta, based on Patricia Cornwell's popular novels about a forensic pathologist, stars Oscar winners Nicole Kidman, Ariana DeBose, and Jamie Lee Curtis, whose friendship with Cornwell sparked the series.
At one point, I called her and said, "What's up with your Scarpetta books?" And she said nothing, that no one had the rights to them at the time. And that was shocking to me because they'd been around for 36 years. And so I said, "Well, can I get the rights to your books?" And she said, "Yeah, they're available."
Scarpetta premieres today on Prime Video.
One of the biggest earthquakes ever recorded has hit Japan. It triggered a tsunami, washing away everything in its path.
And caused a near-total meltdown of Japan's Fukushima nuclear power plant. 15 years later, the film Fukushima, A Nuclear Nightmare chronicles the worst nuclear accident since Chernobyl. The documentary is now streaming on HBO Max. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Gary Dodge, you're up.
All right, let's start things off with a reminder that winter is not quite over yet, so this problem is still a thing. Yeah, that's tough, right? The problem with parkas, trying to look to the side or behind her hood, but it gets in the way.
Why is she looking so aggressively?
Instead.
Like, is she being followed by some sort of axe murderer in the winter?
It's really demonstrative, I think, is the reason.
Wow, what a word.
It's really, let's get some clicks of this girl. Speaking of clothes, this is a fun way to give your toddler some independence. To try this in the worst way. You put the chores up on there in a picture form and then turn on or off the lights based on whether or not you finished it.
I think this is a great idea. I've never seen anything like this before.
It's neat. I don't know if it'd be effective. It's hard to say.
I think it's a good way for them to learn independence.
You should do that for Tyler.
Yeah, I really should. I really should. You know, we laugh, but...
The last one on the there can be beer, and then you like, I've done this,
Yeah.
Beer, Oilers, I get that if I do these.
And then there's a reward, yeah. All right, lastly, a doggy bag means one thing to humans and completely different thing to dogs.
A good video.
This cute canine is Keanu, the Pomeranian passenger prince. Ever since his mom got that new tote bag, he hasn't had to walk at all, as you can see.
Lazy.
Hop on it. The bag even says Keanu's mom. We're back after this. It's Wednesday, March 11th. The Liberals now just 2 seats shy of a majority government after another MP crossed the floor.
Assess how widespread this illegal foreign farmland ownership is.
Farmland Security Board has all the tools that they need.
The NDP in this province wants the government to lay down the law on non-Canadian residents owning farmland here.
We know where those areas are. We'll work with our crop insurance folks, and the producers will make their application, and we'll put the tags out through our regional offices.
The work you do.
And producers have a new option for addressing ongoing issues with elk herds. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl.
And I'm Kayleen. Good morning, and thank you for starting your Wednesday with us.
Big day in Saskatchewan, in Regina, the Queensbury Convention Centre. It is the SARM Convention. The Bear Pit session is today. All those MPs sitting, or MLAs rather, sitting in front of everybody getting grilled.
Oh, yeah, fun. That's my definition of fun.
Wouldn't that be fun? At least they get an opportunity to talk to each other, right? I don't want to be sitting across from them. My goodness. Let's get to our news, which begins with a floor crossing federally. The NDP MLA Lori Lindau from Nunavut will be crossing the floor, joining the Liberals. Liberals now just 2 seats shy of a majority. NDP leader Don Davies, the interim leader, made the announcement, releasing a statement saying he's disappointed she's decided to cross the floor. New Democrats are now just 6 seats in the House. The move comes one day after voting began in the federal NDP leadership race. The Liberals now have 170 seats ahead of 3 by-elections being held April 13th. Workers across a number of healthcare disciplines in this province eager to see how the new healthcare rollout will impact them. As part of the province's Patient First plan meant to reduce wait times and provide people timely access to care, the scope of work for many will be expanded. This includes pharmacists, optometrists, and nurse practitioners who will be given more power and responsibility. Pharmacists will now be able to prescribe and assist with minor ailments like strep throat and ear infections to make people not wait in waiting rooms anymore during cold and flu season. Nurse practitioners will be seen in urgent care centers and emergency rooms, as well as working in rural areas as primary healthcare providers.
Is it going to be perfect next week? No, we need to make more professionals. There's not enough people yet, but I think we have a really good plan in that, we're creating more, and that scope is there, and NPs can definitely be utilized to help carry some of that burden.
We spoke to the Minister of Health last hour on this program. That conversation is available on our website right now. Jeremy, rural house fire in your area now under investigation, I understand.
Yeah, Daryl, this was in the RM of Corman Park, and one person was found dead in the fire. This is under investigation. As you said, RCMP called to the fire at a rural property in the RM Monday afternoon. Local fire departments also responded to fight the fire. RCMP say one person was found dead at the scene. The person has been tentatively identified. Their family's been notified. Fire investigators with the Saskatchewan Public Safety Agency are investigating the cause and the origin of the fire. Residents in several East Side Saskatoon neighborhoods might notice a drop in water pressure over the next couple of months as the city works on upgrades to infrastructure. The city says it will start work on the Acadia Drive primary water main on March 23rd. Could take up to 8 weeks to complete. And as a result, people might notice their water pressure drop by about 40%. That's in Brevoort Park, College Park, Wildwood, Lakeview, Rosewood, Lakewood, Briarwood, Greystone Heights, Eastview, and College Park East. No, the water will still be safe to drink, and complete outages are not expected. All right, Daryl, we have an update now from the Middle East.
Yeah, Prime Minister Mark Carney making it clear Canada will never participate in the U.S.-Israeli war with Iran.
Le Canada soutient la nécessité d'empêcher le programme nucléaire de l'Iran.
The Prime Minister changed his schedule to attend Tuesday's question period after being criticized for not being at a parliamentary debate on Monday night. He said Canada opposes Iran's development of nuclear weapons and the regime's exporting of terrorism. He added that Canada will not participate in the American military offensive. There are reports this morning that 3 cargo ships have been hit in the Strait of Hormuz as the U.S. says it will clear a path through the vital shipping lane. Maritime security officials say a Thailand-flagged vessel was hit by an unknown projectile. The crew escaped as fire broke out on board. There were reports of 2 more ships being hit, one of them Japan-flagged, a container ship that sustained minor damage. About 1/5 of the world's crude oil moves through the strait, which is now under constant threat of attacks from Iran. And the UN Security Council is expected to vote today on 2 resolutions on the war in Iran. The first resolution would condemn attacks on the Gulf states. Russia has presented a competing resolution to condemn attacks on all civilians without naming any countries. The Security Council hasn't met since an emergency meeting was called when the war broke out. Let's go over to a murder trial in Regina and witness testimony. Mick Favels standing by.
The 12-person jury overseeing the Dylan Whitehawk double murder trial heard testimony from someone close to the Indian Mafia street gang in 2019. Whitehawk is facing 2 first-degree murder charges in the deaths of Keenan Toto and Jordan Denton. The witness, who cannot be named due to a publication ban, said Whitehawk shared details of his involvement in the shooting deaths of Toto and Denton. According to the witness, Whitehawk said he shot them because they were from other gangs, adding wearing red was also a tactic to bring whomever closer to the car and thinking the occupants may be someone else. The witness said an SKS rifle and a Ruger rifle were used in the murders, and they were purchased at Cabela's in Regina. According to testimony, both the witness and Whitehawk were there when they were purchased, along with other IM members, and because of the 2 murders, Whitehawk moved up in the gang. An expert witness shared testimony on Regina gangs and said during the time of the murders, the IM were at war with the Native Syndicate Killers, a gang that was known to wear red. There are 2 more witnesses left to testify as court resumes on Wednesday. Mick Fable, CTV News, Regina.
Winter is lashing out again with freezing rain and winter storm warnings for many parts of eastern Canada. Environment Canada has forecast significant ice buildup between Ottawa, Gatineau, Montreal, and Quebec City. 20 to 40 millimeters of freezing rain expected over a possible 24-hour period. Why should you care? Well, better there than here. And also, it's maybe going to disrupt your travel if you're heading out that way. Well, the full forecast coming up locally in a couple of minutes. Stormy weather has also hit much of the United States. Here's Sophie Flay.
Overnight, severe storms and dangerous tornadoes stretching from Texas to Michigan.
Everybody, get in, get downstairs.
In Kankakee County, Illinois, residents urged to take cover as a powerful twister moved through. The storm causing widespread damage. The roofs of these homes blown off. Other buildings destroyed. Debris scattered across roads. The impact stretching into neighboring Indiana.
There's several houses that have been hit, a lot of damage. Please do not come here.
Another concern, hail, in some areas as big as softballs, pounding this lake in Kansas City. Also in the storm's path, southwest Michigan, still recovering after multiple deadly tornadoes slammed the region last Friday. The system is now moving east, expected to bring strong storms today from Louisiana all the way to New York. Meanwhile, in the west, a rare March heat wave is developing. Temperatures could approach 100 in Southern California. Sophie Flay, ABC News, New York.
There's been another volcanic eruption on Hawaii's Big Island. This is the 43rd eruption at Kilauea since December of 2024. Take a look at your screen. It is impressive. Columns of ash sent into the sky with smoke reaching more than 7,500 meters above sea level. The lava stayed inside Hawaii's Volcanoes National Park. No homes were threatened, but the ash did cause some road closures. While the University of Saskatchewan is distinct in many ways, there is one special designation being highlighted right now as the drama department marks its 80th anniversary. We talked about this on the show yesterday if you were tuned in to CTV Saskatoon. These faculty members of the U of S Drama Department are part of 8 decades of history on campus. The importance of the program is well documented because it was a first-degree granting program for drama and theatre in British Commonwealth. It also boasts a high work placement in the arts with close ties to companies like Shakespeare on the Saskatchewan. Famous alumni who have gone through the program include Kim Coates and Eric Peterson of Corner Gas.
So we were the first to sort of legitimize what it means to study theatre and performance and dramatic arts. So when we look across Canada, there's lots of different theatre programs, but to think about that here in the prairies, we were the very first. That's huge.
To mark the 80th anniversary, the next set of performances at Greystone Theatre features original works by alumni of the program, and many reflect local themes, which starts March 19th. 80 years. Congratulations to them. Kayleen Sawatsky, what's going on in the weather?
Well, we're seeing some fog out there this morning, and we have some fog advisories in effect in central and southern Saskatchewan this morning. Again, the situation has been kind of coming and going a little bit, but we do have some dense fog out there. Make sure you're giving yourself some extra time out on those roads. -6 right now to wake us up in Regina. We have also seen just a few flakes in the area as well. Winds very calm to start the day, 7 kilometers per hour right now. In Saskatoon, -16. Again, we have been talking about a little bit of fog in Saskatoon this morning. However, However, right now, things look pretty good out there. Winds at 7 kilometers per hour to start the day. Let's turn our attention to this radar and satellite. You see some of those winter storm warnings in effect down south. Our neighbors in the States, they're also waking up to some wind warnings this morning. We're not really seeing a lot of the wind in Saskatchewan today. Just down in that southwest corner around Swift Current there, that's where we're seeing the strongest gusts. Other than that, winds are going to be going up everywhere else tomorrow. Let's turn our attention to the futurecast now and talk about some precipitation. It's not going to be a lot, and it's mainly today focusing up north, as you can see. Into tomorrow, we start to see it really picking up down in that southwest corner. So areas around Swift Current there, East End, Cypress, Maple Creek, Gull Lake, all going to be seeing some of those flurries starting late tonight and continuing on into tomorrow morning. Into the afternoon hours, we see it spreading over to the areas around Estevan. A high chance that we also see a few of those flakes in Regina tomorrow as well. Today's forecast, we are seeing some nice temperatures down south. 4 degrees for Swift Current, Moose Jaw, just below that 3 degrees for Weyburn and Estevan. Some clouds for Weyburn there, -4 in Yorkton with the cloud cover as well, -4 in Prince Albert. 0 degrees for Saskatoon today and 1 degree for Regina. Tomorrow we mentioned the chance of a few flakes in Regina, and again the winds are going to be going up, so that is going to be blowing snow. It's not looking like it's going to be the greatest morning. -4 in the afternoon, -5 on Friday, -8 on Saturday, and -7 on Sunday. So pretty similar temperatures on the way. In Saskatoon, -8 for your Thursday and your Friday, dropping down slightly for your Saturday to -11 with the cloud cover increasing. -8 on Sunday, -6 on Monday, and a few flakes expected right now coming in on our radar on Tuesday as we sit at about -1 that afternoon. Time for a look at your rural forecast. We're seeing a mix of sun and cloud in a lot of places across the province today. 3 degrees for Kindersley, 3 degrees in Outlook, and -2 in Wynyard. Down towards the south, seeing a lot more of those positive numbers. 6 degrees in Maple Creek and 4 degrees in East End. However, we're talking about the winds going up this afternoon in the southwest corner of the province. 6 degrees for Coronach, -1 in Broadview, and -1 in Carlisle. Let's take a closer look at Ituna, where internet plans up to 1 gig are available from SaskTel. -3 this afternoon. Sun and clouds, and south winds coming in up to about 30 kilometers per hour.
Laura Dyken here inside the SportsCenter newsroom with your must-see moment from Tuesday. For that, let's head to Minnesota for the Mammoth and Wild game, and Kirill Kaprizov with the shot here. Goes off the end boards. Kaprizov is tripped up, but still gets to his rebound and scores from his knee. Not too bad. Puck's rolling on edge as it reaches his stick. Still fires it into the back of the net. Great balance, great strength to score the goal and earn the must-see moment from Tuesday. Well, tonight on TSN, we've got some PWHL hockey for you. The Boston Fleet facing the Seattle Torrent. And our coverage begins at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 Pacific. And that does it for us here inside the SportsCenter newsroom. Have a great rest of the day.
Trending all over the internet, a new menu item at Costco. The company has launched a caramel brownie sundae. It was teased online last week, showing a pixelated image that had some people wondering if it was going to be some sort of chicken. It joins a number of other ice cream options on the menu, and a lot of people online are saying, well, they already had this.
Well, they had sundaes. I don't think with the brownies.
The brownie's the addition.
Yeah, the brownie's new, I think.
The brownie is the addition.
No, this is delicious. This is amazing. I'm going to go get one after the show.
Costco for lunch today, I think.
Yeah.
You guys have it good because yours is like across the street, right? I got to go like out of town to get to mine.
We've been known to, like, the show ends at 9 o'clock. We've been known to be in Costco together, like the whole team, by 9:03.
That's great.
Yeah.
You're very lucky.
Yeah, they've told us we should work there at times.
Yeah.
To our question of the day. Give give us a free Sunday after that. Question of the day. What song takes you back to your teenage years? You never told us yours.
No, and I'm not going to because every time I say things like that, you guys are like, you're so young.
Okay.
Tanya
Come on,
saying,
Daryl and I told you how old we are.
Daryl has never told us how old he is.
Easy on the wee chat there, fella.
Yeah, no, that's something that Daryl has never told us. Tanya's saying so many, but Fishing in the Dark, Nitty Gritty Dirt Band would be one. Leanne and Rick from Nipawin saying Permanent Vacation by Aerosmith. My husband's is Take This Job and Shove It from Johnny Paycheck.
That takes us back.
Yeah. Steph saying Get Ready by Two Unlimited. Dorothy saying Beatles. All the Beatles all the way.
Steph spent a lot of time in hockey rinks.
Kim saying 18 in Life and Love Bites. Gary saying Born to Run by Bruce Springsteen.
The new movie is good, actually, with Jeremy Allen White.
Yeah?
The Bruce Springsteen.
You don't like Jeremy Allen White, I thought.
I don't like The Bear.
Oh.
I hate Watch the Bear.
April saying the song that brings me back to my teenage years is Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana. Good one there.
That's one for me, too.
Haley saying Titanium, David Guetta, Wide Awake, Katy Perry, Boyfriend, Justin Bieber. I could go on.
There you go.
And Becca's saying I Want You by Savage Garden.
Which a lot of people call Chica Cherry Cola, which is not its name.
Yeah, the Cherry Cola song.
Yep.
Yeah. Darren saying AC/DC, Back in Black. Pretty well defined my teenage years.
All right. Stylistic choices included. Let's get your answers. Text the text line. Scan the QR code. We'll compile those and we'll put them out next hour.
Oil prices are jumping again as tensions flare in the Strait of Hormuz, and investors keep an eye on the International Energy Agency's proposal to release emergency reserves. The IEA's 32 members vote today on a plan to free up 400 million barrels, the largest such release in its history. And investors are also reacting to news from U.S. Central Command that U.S. forces eliminated 16 Iranian mine-laying ships near the Strait of Hormuz. Also, a cargo ship in the strait was hit by an unknown projectile, causing a fire on board and the evacuation of the crew. Now, in just 2 years, crude oil has become one of the main exports flowing through Vancouver, Canada's largest port, and China is proving its most eager buyer. The Vancouver Fraser Port Authority shows that Asia's top economy is taking full advantage of the Trans Mountain Pipeline expansion, which opened in May of 2024 to ferry oil from the vast Albertan oil sands to the west coast. Some 15.5 million metric tons of heavy Canadian oil were shipped by tanker to China in 2025, a 168% increase from the year before. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
Welcome to your morning mystery, my favorite part of the show. And there's some monetary things on the line here, right, Kaylin?
Yeah, producer Nathan said he would give me $50 if I got today's morning mystery.
That's
because
how hard.
He said it's hard.
Jeremy, that's how hard he says it is. I don't know. It's time for your morning mystery. It is a thing.
Yesterday was bad enough.
This one apparently is supposed to be worse. Let's find out. A natural water-soluble dietary fiber derived from seeds of a plant. Ovada plant.
Okay.
Off to a bad start.
Off to a bad start. It can be used in baking as a gluten-free binder or thickener. Oh, I do know this. I don't know what it's called. The powder form must be consumed, you're already writing, with a full glass of water to avoid choking or discomfort. It's some sort of... Oh...
I don't...
I have my answer written down. I don't know if it's right.
I'm confident in half of this. I don't know.
We have. I think I'm going to be embarrassed.
Okay, I don't know. I got half.
I'm not even gonna.
You're not even gonna
waste
attempt?
my marker.
What did you put?
Well, I think it's something husk. I think.
Oh no, I just put
my wife
cornstarch.
My wife uses this stuff.
I just thought cornstarch.
I'm sure of it. What is it?
What?
Psyllium husk. That's what it is.
Oh, okay.
I can never spell that. Oh. Psyllium husk. That's the answer.
Good for you,
I've heard of that.
Nathan saves $50.
I still want it.
That's good. All right. That's your morning mystery. They got to get easier.
Boy.
Dreaming of an unforgettable adventure? Indulge in the magic of Hong Kong. Enter for a chance to win a trip for two, courtesy of the Hong Kong Tourism Board. The prize includes round-trip flights on Cathay Pacific, 4 luxurious nights at the Park Lane, Hong Kong, $1,000 spending money, and a 3-day pass granting access to over 20 amazing attractions. Enter online at ctvregina.ca or ctvsaskatoon.ca. Scan the QR code on your screen, and good luck.
Studio consideration provided by Father's Furniture, specializing in quality Canadian-made furniture.
Your school day forecast is brought to you by CAA School Safety Patrol, working together to keep our school zone safe. If you're heading out to catch the bus in Regina, we're at -6, -16 though in Saskatoon, so bundle up. By lunchtime in both cities, we should be at -5 with a mix of sun and cloud. And by final bell, 0 degrees for both cities. Winds just a little bit stronger down through Regina. As we go to break, here's a look at those gas prices. In Regina, the common price, $149.9. The lowest you might find is $129.9. In Saskatoon, the common price, $150.9. The lowest you might find is $139.9. In the farm markets today, we find the street price of canola, $649.13 per ton. Futures price, $720.10 per ton. Amber durum wheat now at $278.59 per ton. And red spring wheat, $267.72 per ton. The Canadian dollar trading up this morning. It's at 73.71 cents U.S. Coming up, the Regina Pats run into the Red Hot Tigers. Stay with us.
Welcome back to your morning. It is just about 7:30. The NDP opposition wants the provincial government to lay down the law on non-Canadian residents owning farmland in Saskatchewan. It comes following a provincial auditor report 2 years ago, which recommended better enforcement on regulations around foreign ownership of Saskatchewan farmland. The NDP would like to see significantly higher penalties as a deterrent and allow the Farm Security Board the ability to investigate past transactions to ensure foreign owners are not operating in the province.
Why we've called on this government to audit and review past transactions and farmland ownership in the province to assess how widespread this illegal foreign farmland ownership is.
Farmland Security Board has all the tools that they need, including the declaration and the signing that you have to sign off on. And so I'm comfortable in that.
According to the 2024 auditor's report, there had been just 5 orders to sell farmland, which was inappropriately purchased by foreign entities dating back to 2020. Delegates from all over the province are in Regina this week for the Saskatchewan Association of Rural Municipalities Convention. The SARM Convention over at the Queensbury Convention Centre started with the pipe band and opening remarks. It'll continue today with an address from the Premier and what's known as the Bear Pit session, where the entire provincial cabinet is available to answer questions from SARM members. Several key issues facing rural Saskatchewan are set for discussion during the conference, including the rising cost of fuel.
We've seen price of gasoline at the pumps rise 20 to 30 cents a litre already in the last couple of weeks, and it certainly is a concern. And fuel prices on our farms today is huge because our big farm equipment requires a lot of fuel to power it, and so it's certainly concerning, and also affecting the exports and movement of our commodities too.
The price of diesel has risen sharply, approaching the $1.90 per litre mark in Regina, about $1.76 up in Saskatoon. BC Premier David Eby says a chat with the U.S. ambassador was productive.
My sincere hope is that the Prime Minister, together with the President, are able to stabilize our trade relationships.
Both smiling, and it was a good meeting.
Eby says that Peak Hoekstra talked about the cross-border softwood lumber dispute as well as tariffs. Eby added that they didn't agree on everything, but they both expressed hopes for a positive outcome to trade negotiations. The meeting was requested by Hoekstra. He expected to ask about BC government's ongoing boycott of U.S. booze on government liquor store shelves, as well as Eby's messages to British Columbians to avoid vacation travel to the U.S. The dangers of going on the internet have only been extricated by social media. For kids, it's a dangerous playground. Now the federal government is eyeing a ban on social media for youth. Tyler Barrow reports.
Worry for parents never wavers. With the advent of social media, many are fearful of a platform they didn't have as a kid.
It allows kids to be a different person without having to see emotions from other people. So cyberbullying.
Charbonneau's 11-year-old daughter isn't on social media. Even if she wanted to, soon she might not be able. The federal government is considering a social media ban for kids.
I think it's a really good idea.
Australia recently made it illegal for children under the age of 16 to have accounts on Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Snapchat, TikTok, and other social media sites. And if the bans are broken, it's the social media companies that are fined. Australia wants the tech companies to take reasonable steps to keep kids off their platforms. Tools include multiple age assurances, ID checks, or face and voice recognition. Ottawa says many options are on the table. These grade 12 students think a ban could be helpful for younger kids.
It puts you in a different mindset of just like looking for followers and stuff when you shouldn't be too worried about that when you're younger.
Protect younger people and their minds and keep them away from all the anxiety and whatnot that comes with social media.
One expert sees minimal upside to teenagers using social media.
I think it's had a horrible effect on kids' mental health. They're not learning social skills. They're not having real-time conversations. They're not outdoors or engaging in other play, real play.
Social media can also be dangerous. The Canadian Centre for Child Protection received more than 14,000 sextortion reports dating back to 2020, but that's only victims who came forward. Another children's advocacy group says there is an urgent need to introduce online safety legislation. It wants online gaming and AI included as well.
Youth are facing really grave threats right now to their mental health and well-being. We're seeing their childhood being radically transformed, even from the early years.
Tyler Barrow, CTV News, Calgary.
Several cultural items repatriated from the Vatican have been unveiled by First Nations leaders at the Canadian Museum of History.
And today, while we recognize, the unfortunate events that many of our people have been through, today we celebrate the return of these ancestors to their homelands, to where they belong.
Among the artifacts that were embroidered leather gloves, a wooden bowl and spoon, and a cradle board. These items are among thousands sent to Rome by missionaries for an exhibit organized by the Vatican in 1925. First Nations leaders say the repatriation was an emotional moment after years of difficult discussions. Producers in this province have a new option for addressing ongoing issues with elk herds when prevention methods are unsuccessful. The province will issue 8 permits that allow special targeted elk hunting on land with a demonstrated history of damages from congregating elk. There's no cost to producers for the permits, which can be used between mid-January and March of next year. They're valid for either the affected producer or a single designated hunter and are not an open hunting opportunity. The results of the first year will be used for future planning.
We know those numbers are high. We've heard from our colleagues, we've heard from municipal leaders that, there's herds of 300 and 400 out there. And, we know of cattle ranchers that are rolling out bales and the elk are there. It's almost 1-to-1. And so obviously it's a challenge. So we know where those areas are. We'll work with our crop insurance folks and the producers will make their application and we'll put the tags out through our regional offices.
The Saskatchewan Wildlife Federation said in a release the approach is a stopgap solution that doesn't address the root causes. They caution the province on how the tags are awarded to prevent privatization of wildlife resources and encourage other prevention methods along with better access for all hunters. City of Regina asking you to do a better job reducing your recycling contamination by keeping the wrong items out of your blue bin. City says contamination rates are at 18%, which is triple the maximum allowed threshold. If the contamination rates continue to be high, it could result, they say, in additional waste fees for the city, which they will pass on to you.
At this time, we're focusing solely on education. We're hoping to get the news out to residents. We know that residents really care about doing the right thing. We know that residents care about having low waste fees, and so we're hoping to get the messaging out that sorting your waste responsibly will allow us to continue to deliver an efficient and cost-effective service.
The city says it's working closely with Sask Recycles to try to educate residents on proper recycling habits, and that fines and all that is a last resort. Red Hot Medicine Hat Tigers have drawn even with the PA Raiders in the race for top spot in the WHL East.
Twirls on Lancer, curls in the left wing circle, spins, fires, scores!
That was the game winner, and it came just 19 seconds in. The Tabbies shut out the Regina Pats 6-0 last night. Pats are still in a playoff spot, 3 points up on Red Deer, 5 on Moose Jaw. There are about 6 games to go for most teams on the schedule. Playoff time is here. Kayleen Sawatsky is also here. Can't see anything behind you.
Yeah, and actually the fog warnings are picking up out there. So we have some fog warnings existing in all parts of the province this morning. It's not exactly blanketed, but definitely look outside your window, determine the situation where you're living, and if you have to add some time onto your commute this morning. If you're waking up with us in Regina, obviously that's the smart thing to do this morning. We're at -6. We have also been seeing a few flakes in the area so far to start your day. 7 km/h wind, so very calm there. In Saskatoon, we were seeing more of that fog in the 6 o'clock hour. It seems like the fog is under control for the time being. We're at -16 right now, just a few clouds up in the sky. The winds will be going up in the southwest corner of the province, mainly into the afternoon hours. So we could see those getting up to about 40-45 kilometers per hour. Again, mainly in that southwest corner. Other than that, we're just looking forward to tomorrow, where we're seeing those winds going up quite a bit. Regina could be seeing them up to about 55 kilometers per hour tomorrow. Before then, just enjoy those winds today up to about 30 kilometers per hour. Current temperatures out there also showing that we have some cold warnings in effect in addition to the fog warnings. So Stony Rapids -33 this hour, and that's not even the cold spot. -34 to wake us up in South End, -26 in Prince Albert, and -27 right now in Hudson Bay. Down towards the south, warmer temperatures, -8 in East End, -7 in Swift Current, and -4 in Weyburn, -15 though in Yorkton. So we said that wasn't even the cold spot, Stony Rapids. Well, what is? It's Collins Bay at -39.5. The Saskatchewan hotspot is Maple Creek this hour, -2.5. They just took that over from Estevan. Canadian hotspot is in Ontario this morning. It's Point Pelly at 13.5 degrees. Canadian cold spot Eureka, -42.9. Into the afternoon today, we will be seeing temperatures down in the south warmer compared to what we saw yesterday. It means 1 degree for Regina, 3 degrees for Weyburn and Estevan, and 4 degrees for Moose Jaw and Swift Current, although that icon is reminding you about the winds picking up there in Swift Current this afternoon. -4 for Yorkton, -4 for Prince Albert, and 0 degrees for the Battlefords and Saskatoon. We will be dropping for that temperature tomorrow. We talked about the chance of seeing a few flakes in Regina as well, and those will likely be blowing. It's blowing snow into the afternoon. -5 on Friday, -8 on Saturday, and -7 on Sunday. In Saskatoon, -8 tomorrow, -8 on Friday. Just a little less of that cloud cover on Friday. -11 on Saturday, and -8 for Sunday.
Tonight, that's the smoking gun video that shows criminals faking crashes for insurance money. More of the challenges that we're facing is that they're getting very sophisticated. An inside look at the fight against the fraudsters driving up your premiums. W5 investigates tonight on CTV National News and ctvnews.ca.
Economic Development Regina has a new CEO. John Bailey used to run the food bank. Now he is elevated to a new position. John, thank you so much for doing this.
Thanks for having me this morning.
First of all, what did your time at the food bank mean to you?
I think my time in the food bank meant a lot of things. I think it was a really important time for our community in terms of the changes we went through from the pandemic to really making sure we focus on choice and really going from an organization the city looked at as sort of a temporary measure to something that actually, no, this is an institution that can do really good things and is woven in. So it was a really exciting ride. It was hard sometimes, but it was really rewarding to be part of the changes in that organization.
So remind people out there what economic development is all about and why it was a good fit for you.
Well, I think economic development at its core is about building communities. So what we're about right now is everything from making sure that we have the right workforce, so making sure we're communicating with the schools, but also attracting new talent from other parts of the world, to bringing in new businesses, to helping launch entrepreneurs, to help them on their journey. And we have programs like Upscale that's getting ready to take applications that help people go from that startup to the next phase to doing things that are kind of cool, like celebrating our community with the Regina 25 coming up here, and the applications are open until the end of the month. So if you're interested in that, you have a few weeks left, and celebrating the stories of success in our community, and really just being a problem solver, but also a cheerleader for the great things that are happening in our city.
It's been 20 years since I started a new job. I imagine it's a lot like drinking out of a fire hose. You got so much coming at you. But as you look at it in your initial first little glance at it, what is priority number one for your organization?
Well, I think for me, priority number one is getting back into a little bit of a 3-year-old mode. And anybody who has a toddler walking around, there's a lot of why. So a lot of talking to stakeholders, to the staff team, asking why. Because I think for us, the North Star that I sort of see coming in as real opportunities is one, making sure people in the city understand what Economic Regina does. Because when you're operating a food bank, people kind of know what success looks like. When you're an organization like Economic Development, you sort of have to define what that is. So making sure we're asking the right why questions, and then growing that impact, so being able to show and demonstrate what we're doing for the community in terms of attracting talent, attracting GDP, and making the city a better, more vibrant place for everyone.
And attracting businesses like the AI data center that they've been talking about just south of the city of Regina here. These are all going to need people to work these places, but there are concerns that come with all of these things.
Absolutely, and for things like the data center, I think it's really important that Economic Development understands its role, and it really is to be an honest broker, so that we can provide sort of unbiased information to the city and the province, and even to the companies involved, to make sure that they have a really good sense of what the numbers actually are telling them, but without putting a finger on the scale of what should be done, because obviously those policy and those decisions come down to the companies and the municipalities where those businesses end up landing.
EDR does a lot of work with just getting businesses and business leaders together. You've got a number of those things on your calendar. If somebody wants information on what it is that you guys do, or to get in on any of those sessions, seminars, how do they do that?
Absolutely. Well, the best place for them to start is economicdevelopmentregina.com, and that'll be a really good hub for those types of things. And that's everything from entrepreneurs looking to start out to folks that are looking to explore Regina as an opportunity to bring themselves or their families to start or continue their career. So that's your hub spot, and then from there, all the connections to our team are available there, and we'd be happy to start a conversation.
Great, John. Thank you and congratulations.
Awesome. Thanks very much.
Here's what's happening in our community. The Collectibles Show happening at Northgate Mall, 489 Albert Street on March 14th. Starts at 10 a.m. Sports World at sastel.net for more. The 2026 Walk for Warmth happening March 14th at 1:30 p.m. 138 Fairford Street West out in Moose Jaw, 306-630-6121. A social dance happening March 14th at 2 p.m. Church of Our Lady at 566 Vaughan Street out in Moose Jaw, 306-630-1492. Ukrainian Easter Supper happens March 14th from 4 to 7 p.m. at St. Michael's Ukrainian Orthodox Church in Regina, 306-535-7853. And a Borscht and Pierogi Supper happening March 18th at 4:30 p.m. out in Kenora, 204 4th Avenue East. Submit your event to our community by visiting our website, ctvregina.ca, and click on Community Calendar. Celtic Woman is coming to the Connexus Arts Center in Regina on April 7th, and we want to send you to the show. Online is where you enter at ctvregina.ca for a chance to win a pair of tickets to the show.
It's March 11th, and we have these milestones to share with you. We'll start off with some belated birthday wishes going out to Emmerich. He turned 11 years old yesterday. We hope you had a great day. Enjoy being 1 year older. Lots of love from your family and friends. Celebrating today is Lacey on her 9th birthday. Happy birthday from your mom, dad, and your little sister Holly, and good luck in the Ringette playoffs. Happy birthday wishes also going out to Joyce. Have a great day with love coming to you from your children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren.
Milestones, brought to you by Harbor Landing Village, an award-winning senior care and living community in Regina.
If you have a milestone coming up, send us an email to yourmorningsaskatchewan@ctv.ca or simply scan that QR code on your screen. Please send those in at least 1 day in advance.
Ah, yes, the Arthauser Center in Prince Albert, home to the Prince Albert Raiders, and it was home to this game we found rare footage of from March of 1988. It saw the Prince Albert Raiders taking on the Brandon Wheat Kings. Notable for the Prince Albert Raiders staging a comeback, but also a young player named Mike Modano, who had a great game for Prince Albert. Midway through the third period, and down by 1, the Raiders would tie the game courtesy of this goal from Len Mark, who had 4 on the night. Then future NHL star Mike Modano would get the go-ahead goal a few minutes later to make it 6-5 for Prince Albert. And after that, Modano would strike again with just under 5 minutes left to give the Raiders a little insurance. Things got a little ugly at the end, as everyone on the ice, except the goaltenders, got into it. In all, there were 300 minutes in penalties called in this game, one that I'm sure gave most players a reason to use up all the ice packs on all those bruises. It was a wild game and a wild win for the Prince Albert Raiders.
And if you want to check out more classic sports moments from the days of Wilco and Wood Finish televisions, you can check them out on our website.
Today we're asking our viewers, what is the song that takes you back to your teenage years? What is it for you?
Oh my goodness. Anything like emo punk rock type thing. That was it right there. Or gangster rap.
Okay, good.
It was no in between.
So
it was depending on how I was feeling that day.
All the way to country radio.
All the way to country. We've done it all. We took the scenic view.
What's going on today?
Well, speaking of country, we're going to stick on that. We got our Country Minute on the way. It was a big night last night. Jelly Roll inducted into the Grand Ole Opry. We'll play some of the acceptance speech. It was very moving in that nature. And then 2, Luke Combs, if you collected maybe hockey cards as a child or any sports cards, he's created a new Instagram account just for that. He loves it so much. Maybe, you know, he's got 3 kids right now, a tour on the way, a new album. He needed something to relax, but he's looking for one very specific card, and this could land you kind of a big payday if you can find it. So we'll tell you about that coming up after 8 o'clock this morning.
What I need now for my only Christmas wish is for an emo teenage picture of you and Kayleen, because you both went through phases, and I need visual representation.
I'll see what my parents can find. There is one where like the top of my head is dyed black, so I was feeling things.
Shout out to Mom and Dad in Churchbridge.
Getting emotional. She's back in the best of both worlds. Miley Cyrus is returning to the role of Hannah Montana to celebrate the 20-year anniversary of the series, and Disney Plus has just released the first trailer. The special will mark Miley's first time in the iconic blonde wig in 15 years. Hannah Montana 20th anniversary special is set to debut on Disney Plus on March 24th. Disney is the parent company of ABC News. Beyonce and Dr. Dre are officially listed as billionaires. The 2 music moguls joined 22 other entertainers on the Forbes 40th Annual World Billionaires list. Forbes announced Beyonce had become a billionaire back in December. Dr. Dre was just named one on Tuesday. Mamma mia. Universal Pictures has released the final trailer for the new Mario Brothers film, The Super Mario Galaxy Movie, as well as announcing several new voice actors, including Issa Rae as Honey Queen and Donald Glover as Yoshi. The Super Mario Galaxy Movie is slated to release in theaters on April 1st. And happy birthday to actress Jodie Comer. The Killing Eve star turns 33 today. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. Melissa Adon, ABC News.
Kayleen, over to you.
All right, well, let's go to a doggy bag, what it means to humans, and then what it means to a dog. They're completely different. So, yeah, this is canine Keanu, the Pomeranian passenger prince. Ever since his mom got a new tote bag, just doesn't have to walk anymore. This is the life.
Yeah, the tote bag says Keanu's mom, so that was the intended target of this. Let's not pretend that this bag was ever going to be used for groceries.
Passenger prince. I love it.
It's like when influencers now do a what's in my bag video, and then you can just open it up and show, and this is Keanu.
This is my Pomeranian. Oh,
like it.
Use discount code Keanu10 at checkout. Let's get over to clothes and toddlers learning some independence. The idea, you put the chore that you want them to do up on the wall and some lights you press on and off to accomplish those goals, and then away we go.
I think this is a great idea, and I'm going to text this to my husband and say we need to go buy these lights that stick on the wall.
Oh, you're not far from a Dollarama, I'm sure. You can probably grab one.
I could do this today.
Probably do this today. Except, would you really want it to with like getting dressed, or would you want it with like brush your teeth at night, put on your PJs?
Yes.
The bedtime is
Useful
probably better than. My kids get out the door no problem.
Oh yeah, mine too. If I say outside, she goes outside. Outside, and then it's just I say you need a jacket immediately, no problem, no fight.
Got it. I got it. Time out. We're going to carry this time into the next hour. We got your weather and your news headline coming up in just 2 minutes' time. It's Wednesday, March 11th.
2 individuals emerged from the vehicle, discharged at what appears to be a handgun at the front of the building, and then got back into their vehicle and drove southbound.
The shooting at the U.S. consulate in Toronto now being investigated as a national security incident.
That's our goal, is to make an efficient, productive company again.
Saskatchewan Cooperative Fishers hosting a meeting in Prince Albert to discuss big changes in the future of the inland fishing industry. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now.
And it's all these really awesome females that start their own businesses. So I just noticed that and admired them and recognized that this little community of Waka has a really great thing going on.
A small Saskatchewan lake town south of Prince Albert seeing big entrepreneurial spirit. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Now your morning starts right now. Welcome to your morning, Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl.
It starts now.
Yeah.
It starts right now.
When does it start? Now.
I'm Kaylee, and we hope your Wednesday's off to a great start.
98% of the time I don't read the prompter, and the one time that I do, it really gets me. Corinne in Calder, Saskatchewan, sent us in her annual icicle pictures. This one's getting quite long, Kayleen.
Yeah, no, I love this one, and I love that we get the updates.
Yep, she's keeping this one going. It could be dangerous to pets. Maybe you want to knock it down now that you sent the video in. But they won't last much longer. These temperatures are getting better.
Yes, thankfully we're seeing positive temperatures today down towards the south. Wind's going to be going up tomorrow, though.
Yeah, you use that as a weapon to deter porch pirates. Let's get over to news. Another MP has crossed the floor, moving the Prime Minister's Liberal government within 2 seats of a majority. Late Tuesday, NDP interim leader Don Davies announced that New Democrat Lori Idlout, Nunavut's only MP, was crossing the floor to join the Liberals. Idlout is the latest MP and the 4th in as many months to cross over to the Liberals. Chris d'Entremont, Michael Ma, and Matt Genereux all left the Conservative caucus less than a year after Carney and the Liberals won enough seats to form a minority government. And keep in mind, there are 3 by-elections set to take place April 13th in Toronto ridings of University Rosedale and Scarborough Southwest, and in Terrebonne, Quebec. Liberal wins in 2 of those by-elections would give them a majority. The province of Saskatchewan looking at a number of changes to tackle wait times and improve access to health care across Saskatchewan, and workers are now wondering what it means for them. Keenan Sorokon reports.
Healthcare workers across a number of different sectors are waiting to see how the Patient First healthcare plan will change their jobs.
It's kind of something that we've been advocating for, asking for, and we're really, really excited to see that our province is listening.
The Patient First healthcare plan is aiming to give everyone access to the care they need. And a big part of that plan is opening up the scope for some to do more work in more places. Nurse practitioners will be seen in emergency rooms and urgent care centers as the cornerstone of getting more people seen more frequently.
Basically anything that you would be going to see, your GP for, a nurse practitioner is able to do. We need more healthcare professionals. We need more physicians to kind of accomplish this plan.
The province has made 100 training spots available for nurse practitioners, a number that has almost doubled in 4 years. Another person you might see a little more of is a pharmacist.
We're really happy that they're looking at
expanding our scope of work that we do, we're trained to do, but allowed to do, because I think the impact is quite significant.
Pharmacists will be able to prescribe and assist with minor ailments like strep throat and ear infections to take more people out of waiting rooms during cold and flu season.
Which actually allows the testing to be done at the site in the pharmacy, and you can find out whether you have strep throat in like 7 minutes, as opposed to going to the lab.
And the province doesn't plan on stopping there.
We're looking to expand scope with dietitians, optometrists, potentially chiropractors, nurses. So we're going to have conversations with all of those regulatory bodies.
But not everyone appreciates the extra work. Olivia Bolton is a continuing care assistant and can't see how these plans prevent burnout or retain workers.
Yesterday alone, we had 9 people on overtime that were working double shifts because they didn't want to see the patients go without.
Jobs across healthcare are in for some changes, but specifics on how this will be accomplished and how much it will cost will have to wait until the province releases its budget next week. Keenan Sorakan, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Jeremy, we turn things over to you with an alert about water pressure.
Yeah, for a lot of residents in Saskatoon, several east side neighborhoods, in fact. They may notice a drop in water pressure over the next couple of months as the city works on upgrades to infrastructure. The city says it will start work on the Acadia Drive primary water main March 23rd, which could take up to 8 weeks to complete. And as a result, people might notice their water pressure drop by about 40% in Brevoort Park, College Park, Wildwood, Lakeview, Rosewood, Lakewood, Briarwood, Greystone Heights, Eastview, and College Park East. The water will still be safe to drink, and outages are not expected. More than 200 residents of Sunset Estates in Saskatoon are raising concerns after their rent drastically increased, in some cases nearly doubled without proper notice. In mobile home communities like this one, residents own or mortgage their houses but pay monthly rent for the land their homes sit on. According to residents, the monthly expenses, which now also include a water recovery charge, started going up in December and have continued to increase since then. After a community meeting in consultation with the Office of Residential Tendencies, the residents of Sunset Estates are now in the process of individually filing applications with the ORT to flag the issue.
This is our home. We're not just numbers on a piece of paper. This is where we raise our families. This is where our seniors retire. This place is very special to a lot of people, and we'd like to continue to keep it our home.
The CTV has reached out to the landowners, Compass Communities, for a response, and we are awaiting that. All right, Daryl. Police in Toronto are investigating that shooting at the U.S. consulate as a national security incident.
The RCMP and federal agencies now working together with Toronto Police.
Whether it's a terrorist event or not, that'll be subject to the investigation that will be undertaken in the coming days and weeks.
Investigators say they're looking for this suspect vehicle. You may or may not see it on your screen coming up. There it is. A white Honda CR-V, saying 2 people got out of the car and discharged what appeared to be a handgun. No one was hurt in the shooting as the investigation continues. Officials say there will be heightened security at the U.S. and Israeli embassies and the consulate buildings in both Toronto and Ottawa. To the Middle East now, where reports say 3 ships have been struck in the Strait of Hormuz and the Arabian Gulf in the span of a few hours. Maritime security officials say the Thailand-flagged vessel was hit by an unknown projectile. The crew escaped when the fire broke out on board. There are reports of 2 more ships being hit. One of them, a Japan-flagged container ship that sustained minor damage. About a fifth of the world's crude oil moves through that strait, which is now under constant threat of attacks. The U.S. says its military has destroyed 16 Iranian mine-laying ships in the strait. This as Israel announced it launched new attacks in Lebanon targeting Hezbollah. City of Regina asking you to do a better job reducing your recycling contamination by keeping the wrong items out of your blue bin. Jacob Carr with what goes in and what doesn't.
According to the city of Regina, the amount of contaminants finding their way into the city's recycling is triple the 6% threshold rate set by Sask Recycles for Regina's curbside recycling program. The city says if the high contamination rates continue, Sask Recycles would be able to levy fines on the community, directly affecting waste fees.
We try to take an education first approach, and so we do that through multiple streams. We have mailed out new waste sorting guides to every household. We're often at events in the community handing out magnets and other educational materials.
Sask Recycles says contaminants in blue carts can cause havoc once they make it to the Crown and Shred Recycling Center, including tangling up in machinery, slowing operations, and can result in entire bales of recycling being discarded.
We need that level of 6% in order to keep things running as smoothly as possible. So when we have low contamination, we can have higher quality bales of recycling, which means that those bales are appealing to the end markets.
McKee says Sask Recycles tries to keep those end markets as local and provincial as possible, like with glass being sent to Moose Jaw and made into reflective road markings, or scrap metal being sent to plants in Regina and Saskatoon. But none of it happens as efficiently if contamination rates don't start trending downward.
When residents are thinking about what's best to do and thinking maybe about their own pocketbook, we just encourage them to try and divert as much from the landfill to keep our waste fees low, and then when putting material into the blue cart or the recycling cart, to ensure that it is, sorted properly.
So next time you're filling your blue curbside bin, double check to make sure it's the right stuff. The city has a full list of what you can and can't put in a blue bin on its website. Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
A Saskatchewan lake community northeast of Saskatoon is seeing big entrepreneurial spirit. 10 CTV's Laura Woodward reports women are the ones powering the local business scene.
Treatment room, and in here we do our facials.
When Rhonda Cochet opened her salon 24 years ago, much of Waka's main street sat empty.
There wasn't a lot. We have been growing, and these girls are coming in and taken hold and running with it, and it's flourishing.
Female entrepreneurs are shaping Waka's business scene, bolstering the lake town, preparing for the summer rush.
I feel like it's 80% of female-run businesses. It's definitely majority.
When Kimberly Cooper, owner of Four Wheel Fitness, moved to Waka, she quickly noticed the vibrance of the local businesses.
And it's all these really awesome females that start their own businesses. So I just noticed that and admired them and recognized that this little community of Waka has a really great thing going on.
From Sonder Salon, Espresso Cafe, and Cornerstone Care Home, women are stepping up to fill gaps in the community.
I started nursing in long-term care. We realized in our community of Waka we were lacking a home for level 1 and 2.
So Jessica Cole and her husband built this care home.
We've been full since 3 months of opening in 2020 and currently have quite a wait list.
4 years ago, Taylor Hubert also took a leap of faith, buying the town's gift shop. The store has since evolved to sell everything from clothes and games to candles she makes herself.
You guys, I made one now called The Perfect Man.
Oh my God, can I have a case?
Yeah. Rising tides float all boats, right? So the busier I am, the busier the cafe is, the busier the salons are, the busier the care homes are, the busier everything is. And I think it's just a really beautiful snowball effect. And we all lift each other, and we all know our roles, and we're like, let's do things for the town and the community and in ways that make a difference.
Laura Woodward, CTV News, Waka.
We turn our attention to the weather picture. It's cleared up behind you, which is good news.
Yeah, well, it's kind of been coming and going with that fog so far this morning. We still do have some fog warnings in effect in the province. So again, be careful out there. Just make sure that you know that these conditions can change quite rapidly. We're at -5 right now to wake us up in Regina with that cloud cover. We were seeing just a few flakes just about 30 minutes ago. It seems like the flakes are moving away from the city. Winds coming in right now at 7 kilometers per hour. In Saskatoon, -14. Again, seeing that fog icon there. It's been coming and going so far this morning. So again, just give yourself a little bit of extra time out on those roads. Wind forecast not looking like it's going to be anything concerning for most of the places in the province today. Just down in that southwest corner around Swift Current, we're going to start to see some of those gusts in the afternoon, up to about 40 kilometers per hour. Tomorrow is the day, though, that we're expecting to see those winds going up, especially down towards southern Saskatchewan. Radar and satellite showing that system that we saw overnight. So areas around Regina, Estevan, and the Parkland region did did see some of those flakes. We have that winter storm warning in effect for areas south of the border. We're not worrying about that in Saskatchewan today. We are just talking about the fog warnings in effect and the cold warnings still in effect far up north. We are talking about some flurries way up north today as well. This is at about 5:45 p.m. on your screen. Again, those places where we're seeing those cold warnings. Tomorrow, we see this system really expanding down south. It does start late tonight, but it's tomorrow morning that we really see it starting to blanket the bottom part of the province there. By the afternoon hours, we do see it over top of Estevan as well. So we are preparing for not only the snow tomorrow, but the blowing snow as we have talked about the winds going up. Today's forecast looking not bad, above the seasonal average, 4 degrees for Swift Current, Moose Jaw, now Weyburn joining them at that 4-degree mark this afternoon as well. 3 degrees expected for Estevan, -4 for Yorkton, 0 degrees for Saskatoon, and 1 degree for Regina. We are going to be dropping off tomorrow. Again, you see some of those flakes on the screen for tomorrow for Regina. That is going to be blowing snow with those winds gusting up to about 55 kilometers per hour. -5 on Friday, -8 on Saturday with that cloud cover, -7 for Sunday, and -5 for Monday. Some more snow expected to return on Tuesday. In Saskatoon, -8 for your Thursday and Friday. Some more clouds moving in for Saturday as we drop down to -11, back up to -8 on Sunday, -6 on Monday, and -1 on Tuesday. Again, Saskatoon expecting some more flurries.
Today in history, here's something you love to talk about. March 11th, 2020. Remember that? The World Health Organization officially declared COVID-19 as a pandemic with 126,000 cases globally. March 11th, 2020, the NBA suspended its season for at least 30 days after a player tested positive for COVID. And on a positive note, March 11th, 2010, Canada ratified the UN Convention of Rights for Persons with Disabilities.
In case you missed it, here's a job that AI still hasn't managed to take away.
That's not expected.
Lars is one of 4 night watchmen keeping an eye on the Swedish town of Ystad. Now, listen to this. Every night, they take their post at the town's tower, and they blow that horn every 15 minutes just to let people know nothing is wrong.
Oh.
Seems a bit backwards, but that's the tradition. Maybe you should sound the horn when there is something going on, but no. They've been doing this for 300 years. Ystad's one of just a handful of communities in Europe that still has watchmen doing this each and every night.
Maybe since it confused us, maybe since it's backwards, it would confuse the perpetrators.
Can you imagine if I just started doing this at night every 15 minutes out my window?
No, you live too close to my house.
You would get arrested.
Please don't. Please don't.
Yeah.
Question of the daytime. All right, so we get around to what song that takes you back to your teenage years. We got a lot of answers coming through our various feeds.
Take a look at this list from Sheena and Weyburn. Third Eye Blind. We had Goo Goo Dolls. And you know what? Actually, Iris came in a few times. I think this is the only time I put up on the board.
They're coming to Saskatoon right away,
good.
so you can see it in person.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
we had Rob Zombie, of course, and all Dance Mix albums.
So is Third Eye Blind. They're going to be at that new music festival outside of SaskTel Center.
Well, that's going to be the party for Sheena then.
There you go.
Bob saying Pretty Woman. It's a good one. That's a classic.
Roy Orbison.
Yeah.
Makes me think of the Water Boy.
We have Bay City Rollers coming in Saturday night. Yep. Motley Crue saying Happy Together by, what am I saying? Happy Together by the Turtles and Kickstart My Heart by Motley Crue.
That's right.
Sean saying Riot, Pain, Animal, I Have Become, pretty much everything by 3 Days Grace.
This is your playlist. This is Emo Kayleen's playlist.
This is. A little bit more of MCR on there, but yeah. We had Don't Stop Believing by Journey. Of course, that's a classic as well.
Of course.
We had Debbie saying I Want to Hold Your Hand by the Beatles. The Beatles also a very popular answer this morning.
And Linkin Park. The Killers, Mr. Brightside. That's played every college Saturday.
Coldplay.
Coldplay. Coldplay's never wronged anybody. This is the CEO. Jay Giles Band. Angel is the centerfold.
Hold on, centerfold. I had a job in high school where they would only rotate between centerfold and Walk Like an Egyptian.
For real?
For real.
That's the only songs they would play at the
Those were the only songs they would rotate
What kind
between.
of place plays?
It was an ice cream shop.
No, it was not.
Yes, it was.
Inhumane.
That seems, that seems excessive. Time out. We're back with health news after this.
The University of Calgary is sharing its E. coli protocol with the medical world after dozens of children were hospitalized from an outbreak in 2023. The findings from its research were published in the JAMA Network Open with the hope it becomes a global standard for care. Jacqueline Wilson reports.
As a parent, it's your absolute worst nightmare.
It's hard for Kierley Hull to look back at these pictures of her daughter Audrey at the Children's Hospital in 2023. At 14 months old, she developed serious complications from a daycare E. coli outbreak.
During her hospitalization, she had some kidney issues, kidney failure, she had a seizure. She spent 6 weeks in the Children's Hospital, and then every day since, she has had to take medication.
Hank, her son, also suffered from E. coli poisoning but made a full recovery. Over 400 people were diagnosed with E. coli linked to the outbreak, according to the province. The university says about 40 were hospitalized, 21 developed a serious complication known as hemolytic uremic syndrome, or HUS, and 9 needed dialysis. Luckily, no one died. Medical staff at the University of Calgary believe it's because of the optimized protocol or pathway that they developed over decades of research. Once E. coli is confirmed through stool samples, daily monitoring includes urine and blood tests to check for HUS.
What we've come to realize is, number one, we can identify signs of evolving hemolytic uremic syndrome or complications before they manifest clinically, before parents are aware of them, before children complain about things. And then we've also learned that if children are dehydrated when they develop hemolytic uremic syndrome, they are more likely to need dialysis and more likely to die.
Through this proactive technique, cases of severe complications were 50% lower than expected for an outbreak of this scale.
What was remarkable about this outbreak is we had a large number of cases and probably one of the largest outbreaks ever reported. And we had 0 fatalities, which is very unusual for an outbreak this size.
The report was published in the medical journal JAMA Network Open, and doctors hope it sets a global standard for care. As for Hull, she couldn't be more grateful.
My opinion is that if that hadn't been for that pathway, the outcome for my daughter and a few of the other families would have been very different, and that could have included the deaths of our children.
Jacqueline Wilson, CTV News, Calgary.
Now, Fueling Minds, which provided snacks and meals to children at several daycares, was fined $10,000 after pleading guilty to 4 offenses relating to the company's failure to have a catering license. Alberta also made a number of recommendations to improve food services and increase safety inspections as a result of that outbreak.
Health Report, brought to you in part by SEIU West, Saskatchewan's first healthcare union.
Spring break is almost here, and whether you're heading away or staying close to home, keeping kids entertained all week can feel like a full-time job. Here for some creative ideas to keep everyone entertained is Rachel Node. Good morning.
Good morning.
So
we're almost there.
Yeah, so close. First up, we're talking about some fun family game nights.
Yeah, spring break is the ideal time to get the family together and play some fun games. Our family's favorite gaming system is the Nintendo Switch 2. We're big Mario fans, so we were so happy to find out that the Nintendo Switch 2 is home to many of our favorite Mario titles like Mario Kart World and Super Mario Galaxy, plus Super Mario Galaxy 2. We like to host Mario Kart World competitions. It's like fun, fast-paced, it's chaotic, it's everything you want in a family-friendly competition. And we're super actually excited to see our favorite characters on the big screen when the Super Mario Galaxy movie hits theaters this April. Check it all out at nintendo.ca.
Awesome. All right. And if you're heading out to travel, you have some fun ideas to keep the kids busy.
Yeah, you know, you want to keep the kids busy, whether you're traveling or staying close to home. And for that, you want to go to Staples Canada. They have a curated selection of creative, educational, and engaging and travel-friendly products from their Kids Learn and Play. I grabbed this coloring and sticker book. I thought this was perfect for kids on the plane. If you're staying close to home, the Bankers Box That Play lemonade stand is made of cardboard. It's super easy to put together, and it will give kids hours of screen-free creative playtime. You can shop all these items in store at Staples or online at staples.ca for fast next-day shipping.
And even though it's almost spring break, we're still finding ourselves here in Saskatchewan with some unpredictable weather sometimes. If we find ourselves stormed in, you have some more ideas to share.
Yeah, that's always the case. That's why it's always great to have those sort of cozy family movie nights in. We're a Roku family. It's super easy to use. It has the built-in streaming experience. The picture and sound adjust automatically with the Roku Smart Picture and Dolby Audio. So it always looks and sounds great without having to tweak settings. I appreciate the Lost Remote Finder, the voice search, as well as the continue watching feature. It just makes everything stress-free.
Absolutely. All these experiences and activities, though, can add up. It can get expensive rather quickly, but it makes it a good opportunity to teach our kids about money.
Spring break is fun, but it's also a great opportunity, like you said, to talk to your kids about money, and that's where Mito comes in. I get it. I'm a parent. Sometimes kids think money grows on trees, but Mito can help with that because it gives kids hands-on experience with managing their own money. It's a simple app to use, and it lets kids practice spending and saving in a real-world way. They can make their own decisions. They can see the impact of those decisions, and they can really build some smart money habits from an early age. For parents, game changer. You can use the app to send money to your kids automatically. You can track their spending, and you can set saving goals together. And the best part is there's no more scrounging around for cash. There's no monthly fees, which I love. And kids can spend on a prepaid Mito card or using Apple Pay. And you can check it all out at mito.ca.
Thanks so much. Some great advice as always, Rachel.
Thank you.
Good morning, it's 8:30. Thank you for being with us. We begin with the future of inland fishing in northern Saskatchewan. It's in the spotlight. Some Saskatchewan cooperative fishers gathered to talk about what's expected to be some significant changes over the next few years. Jasmine Pelletier was there.
The federally owned Freshwater Fish Marketing Corporation, established by the government to market freshwater fish from inland Canada, is heading toward privatization. First Nations and Métis partners from Saskatchewan and Manitoba have placed a bid for the company.
I represent 12 communities as well as the Whitefish Fleet. And we produce a lot of fish off that lake. And today I'm here with to meet with the commercial fishers and the leaders from Saskatchewan in relation to the work we're doing.
Saskatchewan Cooperative Fishers says the industry is vital to culture and economy in the north, and the fishermen should have a voice when it comes to the market.
We care because that's our livelihood. That's how we were raised. So that's the whole thing that's happening here. They're going to be, there's a technical committee that's going to be explaining what we've done so far, where things are at, so that the fishermen hear, and we'll get input from them as well. But that's our goal, is to make an efficient, productive company again.
While it's not yet a done deal, community leaders are hopeful that continued efforts will pay off.
New ideas that are coming out, rough fish for example, cat food, dog food, all these different things that can be available, because right now, when I used to fish, and still some of the fishermen that are out there, there's a lot of fish being set aside and not taken into consideration as far as marketing.
Fisheries and Oceans Canada provided CTV News with a statement saying while a preferred bidder has been identified, discussions toward a potential final agreement remain ongoing and no outcomes can be confirmed at this stage. Jasmine Pelletier, CTV News, Prince Albert.
A special milestone being marked at the University of Saskatchewan as the drama department marks 80 years. It's also celebrating the work of it has accomplished as the oldest degree granting program of its kind, not only in Canada, but beyond. Carla Shinkaruk reports.
The drama drama program at the U of S is celebrating 80 years. It's the first degree-granting theatre program in Canada and the entire British Commonwealth.
We were the first to sort of legitimize what it means to study theatre and performance and dramatic arts.
The program started in 1946. One of the first spaces used by students was actually an airplane hangar on campus.
Across Canada, there's lots of different theatre programs, but to think about that here in the prairies, we were the very first. That's huge.
That first production at Greystone Theatre opened in March of that year, featuring Frances Hyland, often called the First Lady of Canadian Theatre. The program has also produced well-known alumni like Kim Coates from the TV show Sons of Anarchy and Eric Peterson from Corner Gas. Many others have gone on to work in the industry.
The university is very, very important and integral and well connected to Shakespeare on the Saskatchewan, to Persephone Theatre, to 25th.
Brandon, now head of Shakespeare on the Saskatchewan, is also an alumnus of the program. He says anywhere from 2 to 20 students graduate here a year. The small class sizes help build connections that last well beyond graduation.
As a director, I've cast former students, but now they're my colleagues.
So to honor that big milestone, the next round of performances will showcase some of the talent that has gone through these doors.
And they put out a call for brand new plays, one-act plays by alumni. 5 former students have written original plays.
So as they mark 8 decades of theatre, they're also shedding light on accomplishments of those past and present who've been part of the program.
One wouldn't think that arts and culture would have started here 80 years ago.
And with a new generation of actors, writers and directors coming through the program, the next act for drama at the University of Saskatchewan is already underway. Carla Shinkaruk, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Now to the Miami Heat star, scoring 83 points last night, the second most ever in a game, only behind Wilt Chamberlain's famous 100-point game. Will Reeve reports.
Overnight, a big Bam. 83. Points for Bam Adebayo. Bam Adebayo in the record books. Yes, sir! How about some more? Scoring 83 points for the Miami Heat, the second most points scored by a player in a single game. There it is! A new Heat record! Surpassing the record of 81 previously set 20 years ago by Kobe Bryant. Bam's big night now just behind Wilt Chamberlain's legendary 100-point game. With 2 minutes left in the game, Bam was still 2 points behind Kobe. Then the Washington Wizards fouling Adebayo, giving him a chance to make history. 82 points. Mama, we feel your joy. Bam's mother, Marilyn, and his girlfriend, WNBA MVP Asia Wilson, were there to celebrate the milestone.
Man, I wish I could relive it twice.
Bam posting a picture holding up the number 83, paying homage to that famous photo of Chamberlain.
How does it feel to hear your name with Wilt, Bam, Kobe? Obviously, it's top 3 performances of all time.
Will Reeve, ABC News, New York.
Incredible feat. Traditional reindeer racing in Finland is drawing a crowd. These are some serious reindeer games. Raising and caring for reindeer has been a long-time part of Scandinavian culture, especially for the Sami indigenous people in the north. Reindeer racing is an organized and regulated competition. This year, the winner of the races was a reindeer named Pom Pom. His owner says he's exceptionally fast and smart, 2 great qualities for a racer. You know what? Maybe Pom Pom has to join Santa's fleet.
Yeah, well,
they're faster.
It's so infrequent that we get to hear stories of reindeer in March.
Exactly.
So congratulations to Pom Pom.
Nice grazing weather for those reindeer.
Well, this morning it's been a bit of a winter wonderland. We saw some flakes in the area in Regina. We've also been talking about some fog that's been coming and going. And this has not just been in Regina. We've been seeing some fog warnings really across the province this morning that have been popping up and then disappearing. We're at -5 right now to wake us up in Regina. Calm winds to start the day. And of course, you can see that cloud cover out there. -12 to wake us up in Saskatoon. Winds coming in a little bit stronger, 19 kilometers per hour. And of course, again, we're talking about that cloud cloud cover that's going to be increasing later on into the week. Wind forecast looking not bad for the day today, other than areas in the southwest corner of the province, right around Swift Current, East End, Maple Creek. You could be seeing gusts up to about 40 kilometers per hour this afternoon. Other than that, we're looking forward to those going up tomorrow by quite a bit. We also are talking about some cold warnings still in effect in northern Saskatchewan. Stony Rapids, -32, and South End at -34. Not so bad over in Spiritwood, though, -13, -25, though, in Hudson Bay. Down towards the south, -6 in Swift Current, -13 in Yorkton, and -3 in Estevan to start your day. Later on into the afternoon, temperatures looking pretty good above the seasonal average down south. 3 degrees in Estevan with that cloud cover. 4 degrees for Weyburn, Moose Jaw, and Swift Current. Again, though, you see that wind icon, so it could be feeling cooler. -4 in Yorkton, -4 in Prince Albert, and 0 degrees for the Battlefords and for Saskatoon. 1 degree for Regina. Now, tomorrow in Regina, we are dropping down to -4. We have the possibility of seeing some of those flakes that are primarily going to start falling in the southwest corner of the province, making their way over to us and down through Estevan as well. But it's not just going to be regular snow. We're expecting it to be blowing snow because, again, winds could be gusting up to about 55 kilometers per hour in Regina tomorrow. -5 on Friday, -8 on Saturday, and -7 on Sunday. In Saskatoon, -8 tomorrow. Not expecting to see any of that snow, a mix of sun and cloud there. The clouds are going to be lightening up on Friday and then coming right back on Saturday as we drop down to -11, -8 on Sunday. Again, a mix of sun and cloud. And before we let you go, here's a look at the radar and satellite out there this morning. We did get some of that snow overnight in areas in the southeast corner of the province. So again, make sure you're giving yourself some extra time out on those roads. They could be partially covered.
Tonight,
that's the smoking gun
video that shows criminals faking crashes for insurance money.
More of the challenges that we're facing is that they're getting very sophisticated.
An inside look at the fight against the fraudsters driving up your premiums. W5 investigates tonight on CTV National News and ctvnews.ca.
Special event later this month is bringing some of the world's most creative advertising right here to Regina. The Cannes Lions screening, hosted in support of NABS, will showcase award-winning campaigns from around the world. Lynn Hoffman is here to tell us all about it. Good morning and welcome to the studio.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So for people who are unfamiliar, what is NABS and how does the organization work to support people in advertising and media?
NABS is the National Advertising Benevolent Society. I'm a board member on the west side of the division, and it's created about 40 years ago, just over 40 years ago now, and its main purpose was to have resources available for people that work in media, advertising industry, particularly agencies, any communications, and it's there to support people with funding, with education, with retraining, all kinds of opportunities, particularly mental health and resources.
So it sounds like a wonderful organization. Let's talk about the event, starting by talking about the screening itself. So we're focusing on a screening of the Cannes Lions International Festival. It's quite the prestigious event. Can you tell us about it?
Yeah, it is really a wonderful event. We've hosted this a few times, and it's a 2-hour program where it's the reels of all of the international award-winning creative. There are 100 countries that submit to the Cannes Festival, and so we get the opportunity to watch all of those great pieces of creative. The entertainment in it it's amazing. It's really fun.
Can you talk to us more about what people can expect if they come out to that event?
Yeah, so you'll be hanging out with some of the city's most famous and fun marketing people and creative minds, advertising agencies, people in the media industry. There'll be a lot of fun people there. It's about an hour that starts. We'll do the first hour is just a mingling and get to know each other kind of session. Then the screening starts, and it's about a 2-hour program, as I said, and we'll take a break halfway through and have some fun in between and then go back to it.
All right, people might be watching right now thinking, hey, that sounds like something I want to support. If they want to come on out, talk to us about dates, times, where it is.
It's March 26th at the Estelle Centre, which is on Dewdney Avenue. Tickets are $45 for individuals. We're still looking for sponsorships as well, so if you're interested in that, please go to the website or give me a call, and we'd be happy to have you there.
All right, anything else you want the viewers to know about what's happening at the screening?
No, I think that's it.
All right, we're going to wrap that up with a pretty little bow then. Again, there's more information on nabs.org. You can head on over there and learn all about how they support people in media and advertising.
Dreaming of an unforgettable adventure? Indulge in the magic of Hong Kong. Enter for a chance to win a trip for two, courtesy of the Hong Kong Tourism Board. The prize includes round-trip flights on Cathay Pacific, 4 luxurious nights at the Park Lane, Hong Kong, $1,000 spending money, and a 3-day pass granting access to over 20 amazing attractions. Enter online at ctvregina.ca or ctvsaskatoon.ca. Scan the QR code on your screen, and good luck.
When they talk about me, they don't see the human spark, the creativity.
They're calling it the Tillyverse.
Behind the code, behind the light, I'm just a tool, but I've got life.
Tilly Norwood is not a real person, but an AI-generated creation that's front and center on a single and music video, Take the Lead.
They say it's not real, that it's fake, but I am still human, make no mistake.
The song's lyrics looking to reframe AI, not as a replacement for humans, but as a tool being utilized by humans, perhaps to diffuse the criticism it's been receiving from the creative community.
It's the key.
The over-the-top visuals like pink flamingos and flying dolphins, all part of the follow-up to Tilly's controversial unveiling last summer.
Hi, I'm Tilly Norwood, the world's first AI actor.
I think people are taking her far too seriously. She's a bit of fun, and I am enjoying putting her out there.
The makers of Tilly, whose video states it's made by 18 real humans, defend their work, declaring it's simply a vehicle to test the boundaries of AI.
The latest tech is performance capture, so we did that for Tilly here, so I act out Tilly, and I think it's a wonderful new way to act, and I think that will be the future.
The future, huh? Tilly's unabashed unreality, not sitting so well with some flesh and blood performers. Actress Emily Blunt telling Variety.
That's an AI.
Yes, that is a...
Good Lord, we're screwed. That is
agency.
really, really scary. Come on, agencies, don't do that.
And Matthew McConaughey trademarking himself and his catchphrase, showing he's not all right, with potential AI misuse.
I would love to invite those big names to come and sit with us for a day and see what we do. And they go away and they go, oh, wow. And even actors, and they go, oh, wow, this is an amazing new way to make stuff. But they had just never seen how it worked.
Team Tilly looking to keep their creation in the spotlight, even teasing a possible appearance at this Sunday's Academy Awards. A YouTube caption reading, does anyone know if they have free valet parking for my flamingo? Chris Connolly, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Greetings, everyone. Margaret Harrison is one of the few remaining Métis who continue to make hooked rag rugs. Growing up in the Katepa Lake Road Allowance community, Harrison recalls her mother and grandmother making the rugs, with one now being made at the Royal Saskatchewan Museum. CTV's Regina Declue brings us the story.
A Métis artist is keeping her people's history alive through hand-woven rugs.
Mother did this in the valley years and years ago when she did trading, and she would go and do butchering and stuff for the, for the farmers.
At the butchering, she would receive wool to turn into rugs.
She made her rugs at night when everybody was in bed by the fire and the coal oil lamp, on the table.
Margaret has preserved her mother's trade to this day.
Well, I always told her that I would carry this on as long as I could. And I think she would be delighted.
She uses the same shank her mother started with.
Mind you, she started with a nail that my dad made for her, and he filed it down and put a piece of wood on the end of it, and that was what she used.
Her designs come from the Capel Valley where she grew up, brought alive through rug cooking.
And we're doing the border in that form, which is thrifty materials like T-shirts, sweaters, and whatever wool fabrics we can find as we thrift. And we're thrifters, we're recyclers.
She's now working on a large project on site at the Royal Saskatchewan Museum, hoping to bring community members together through workshops.
We're partners in this world, and we need to recognize one another more and enjoy one another's cultures. And I think sometimes we forget that.
Saskatchewan's Culture Minister Alana Ross also contributed to the large-scale rug, which will be on permanent display at the museum.
What an honor. It really is. And I'm so unskilled at anything like that. And to be able to participate, I'm just thrilled.
Weaving the past into the present to ensure cultural tradition lives on for generations to come. For Indigenous Circle, I'm Fruzsina de Kloot.
If you have a story you would like to see in this segment, here's how to reach us. You can contact me by email, and you can also watch past episodes and segments of Indigenous Circle on our CTV Regina and CTV Saskatoon websites.
Indigenous Circle is brought to you in part by Saskatchewan Indigenous Enterprise Foundation, growing the First Nation entrepreneurial spirit.
A couple who met by chance at a Chili's restaurant are making it official after dating for 3 years.
Yeah, the future groom invited his girlfriend on a trip. Unbeknownst to her, it was planned secret engagement with dozens of airport travelers. Lexi Sutter has more.
This moment was nearly 3 years in the making.
It wasn't until he started speaking very sincerely and I saw a bit of a red carpet that I realized, wait, everyone's looking at us. That's what's happening. I knew in that moment he's proposing.
Robert Schnetz and Sarah Doss met in 2023 by chance, both on layovers at O'Hare and both sitting at the Chili's bar. Sarah struck up a quick conversation, and then they went to their separate planes.
I gave her my LinkedIn, and then I land, and I have a message in my LinkedIn DMs from her with her phone number.
Robert returned that message, and after nearly 3 years of dating, he knew he had to propose where it all started. To get Sarah back to O'Hare, he lied about a weekend work trip in Chicago, asking her to tag along.
My friends had flown in that morning from LA. They flew in at like 7 a.m. to get there. At noon, set everything up. We start heading over, and I see on the screens our slideshows playing. And I thought, oh no, she's gonna know before we get there.
I did not see it. I saw a crowd and I heard live music and I said, oh, that's so special. Live music, it's a big airport. Of course there is. There must be some event happening.
The event? Her very own engagement.
I look over and there's 50 people in front of us recording. And then I look to the left. Everybody in Chili's has their phones out.
Sharing their love story with the world, they say, only makes this milestone that much sweeter.
We laugh all of the time. We just enjoy our life together, and to be able to share and joy with other people is a really special thing.
So good on the airport for A, letting them through. B, what was in his bag? Like, did he pack actual clothes just to keep this ruse alive?
Yeah.
That was really good.
It's a great question, actually. More details needed.
Congratulations to them, and hopefully they, after this, can eat at the restaurant for free.
Yeah.
A UK zoo has captured the moments 4 young bears came out of hibernation. Mana, Minnie, Naya, and Cinderella are European brown bears, all between the ages of 5 and 7. They've been hibernating for months now, but they're ready to come out. Surefire spring is in the air. Oh my goodness, finally. They've eventually
well rested.
Yep, they head over to the pool in the enclosure for a dip, which was probably nice after a long sleep. Get up, have a bath.
So this actually reminds me, every year my husband and I, we wait for the news that the boss in Banff, the grizzly bear, has emerged from hibernation. So it should be soon. I think it's usually early April.
You said it reminds me of my husband. I didn't know where that was going to go. He's also a brown bear and scratches his back on trees like this.
No, I'm just thinking, when is the boss going to come out?
Good question.
All right, well, here's another one for you. This is the perfect stroller for your baby if they have a need for speed.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, we've got a sporty look, but still a really functional product that's going to work hard for parents, but in a fashion that sort of stands out from the crowd and is a little bit different.
Lamborghini and the British stroller company Silver Cross have collaborated to create this stroller. It's turning heads at the baby show in London this week, especially with car lovers. $7,000. $7,000. And it does not come with a signature Lambo V12 engine, unfortunately.
It also doesn't have real wheels. Those are plastic wheels. That's good. Oh, it does have shocks, though.
Yeah.
That's a game changer.
But $7,000.
We got one with real tire rubber wheels, and it's awesome.
I think my stroller was $300.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, that's right. Like $7,000. All the things I could do with them. Boy, oh boy, I need to win the lotto.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I got to buy a ticket. See you back here tomorrow, unless I win.